It's a great storyline, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to achieve something so special.
The drive to a dynasty stays alive.
Coming from Winnipeg last year, I'm looking to take that away from him and get that third ring on my finger.
Andrew Harris, he's back.
The 109th Grey Cup. Kickoff is next.
From the CFL's heartland, Canada's biggest game is back in Saskatchewan for the fourth time and hosting the first Grey Cup between two storied franchises in over 70 years. Winnipeg and Toronto haven't met on this stage since the Mud Bowl of 1950. And while the Argonauts have won the Cup more than any other team, the Blue Bombers are on the verge of history, looking to become just the second franchise to win 3 in a row since the CFL officially formed in 1958. Welcome to the 109th Grey Cup on TSN. Championship Sunday, and Glenn Suter, one of the interesting subplots, Andrew Harris against his old team and his old understudy, Brady Oliveira.
Highly motivated Andrew Harris against his old team. This is his third Grey Cup in a row. 2 with Winnipeg, the last 2, his first with the Toronto Argonauts. And yes, Brady Oliveira, who took over for Andrew Harris, both grew up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. In fact, both went to the same high school.
The Argos wearing their dark blue jerseys, the Bombers choosing white, which they wore when they won the previous 2 Grey Cup games. Javon Leake back for the return, and Dejan Brissett as well. It was the Bombers winning the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so Argo football to start it off. Championship Sunday, where else would you rather be? On the prairie for the Grey Cup. And it is underway off the foot of Mark Leggio, and it is coming down to Leak at the 30-35, and he gets up across the 40 before he is taken down. And on comes McLeod Bethel Thompson, a backup to Ricky Ray the last time the Argos won the Grey Cup 5 years ago in 2017.
And this year led the Canadian Football League in passing yards with over 4,700, his best season in 5 in the CFL. Led the Toronto Argonauts to a first-place finish in the division, 11 wins.
It's his first year as the undisputed #1 quarterback for the Argos. Handing off A.J. Olette, who's been a big part of the story of that offense when he took over from Andrew Harris midway through the season after Harris got hurt.
Let's take a look at that starting offense for the Toronto Argonauts. Dejan Allen starts at right tackle. He's their nominee for outstanding offensive lineman this year. And you take a look at the receivers. Curly Gittins led all Toronto Argonaut receivers his first 1,000-yard season.
Olette stays in the backfield. Curious to see how they use Andrew Harris in this game early on. 2nd and 6. The throw, it's broken up, intended for Tavares Daniels, the safety. Brandon Alexander coming in to knock it away.
Brandon Alexander's just playing the middle. He's free, back from injury from a year ago, and he steps in. He's a presence in the middle. He's a physical safety that'll come up and hit you, and he's setting the tone early for the Bomber defense.
And so John Haggerty from Sydney, Australia. First-year Argo punter. He kicks it away to the best returner in the league, Janarian Grant. He had a punt return for a touchdown last week in the Western Final, and a shorter return after a 50-yard punt by Haggerty. And here is the most outstanding player, back-to-back years, Zach Collaros. What a story, over 4,000 yards passing, 37 touchdown passes, 70%. It's a career high he's had in the passing department.
And since he joined the Winnipeg Blue Bombers back in 2019, all in 31-4.
Remarkable. And he arrived from Winnipeg from the Argos. They traded him away in October of 2019. It has certainly altered the course of Bomber history and his own. Brady Oliveira is the ball carrier, and he does a good job redirecting and picking giving up 5 yards as we look at that Blue Bomber offense in this Grey Cup.
Well, arguably one of the best offensive linemen to ever play in the Canadian Football League, Stanley Bryant, this year's Outstanding Offensive Lineman Award winner. And then you go to the receiving core and tailbacks. Dalton Schoen, as a rookie in his rookie season, the Rookie of the Year in the Canadian Football League, but also led all receivers in receiving yards.
Oliveira had his best season, over 1,000 yards rushing, taking over from Andrew Harris. Back in his hands. Hendricks is there. Argo defense stepping up. Tavares McFadden in as well, but it's Hendricks stuffing that run and forcing the Bombers to punt.
Well, first, we wanted to see, and I think a lot of Winnipeg fans wanted to see, if Zach Collaros would get out there. We all knew he was going to start. He had the ankle. Not a surprise that the Bombers were going to try to establish the run early. In the second half of the West Final, the run game took over.
Mark Leggio punts it away to Javon Leake at the 34. Punt of 47 yards. Good return by Leake to get it up across the 50 for McLeod Bethel Thompson. They were 2 and out of the first possession. Coming into this Grey Cup game, the East Division champions, the Toronto Argonauts, first in the East. Claire Hanna talked about it, Glenn. Slow start, but they finished strong. Beat Montreal last week in the East Final.
Yeah, 11 wins. #1 team in the East, and I mentioned off the top, McLeod Bethel Thompson, I felt his best year, most consistent, 9 Eastern All-Stars, and a team that matches up well against the Bombers.
They went 2 and out on their first possession. First down now from the 50. Taking the handoff, rolling to the right. And he's looking for Curly Gittins just as he was being hit. So out of bounds. And a 2nd and 10 is coming up as Adam Bighill on that Bomber defense applying some heat.
Yeah, let's look at the front 7, starting up front with Willie Jefferson, 4-time All-Canadian. Willie Jefferson, another big season with 10 knockdowns. He'll get his hands up in the throwing lane. There's the leader of this whole team, Adam Bighill. Led the team again in defensive tackles. And in the West Final, Winston Rose, a big pick. Winnipeg beating the BC Lions.
Andrew Harris in the ball game, staying in to protect. Throwing on 2nd down, complete. And the first down of this game goes to Markeith Ambles, getting it inside the Winnipeg 45 at a gain of 15 yards.
Yeah, nice throw by McLeod Bethel Thompson on time. He's going to take just 2 steps back, launch it right over the middle. Markeith Ambles flashes right in front of Brandon Alexander. This time he can't jump that crossing route quite as fast because he had a seam right beside him.
He got a ring with the 2018 Stamps, but got hurt 2 days before the game. Wasn't able to play in it. Andrew Harris, first Grey Cup carry 2022, and he picks up 6 yards. Good start for the Grey Cup MVP of 2019 with Winnipeg.
Yeah, think back to that 2019 season. That season, he was highly motivated going into the Grey Cup. Was not the nominee for Outstanding Canadian for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers after a tremendous regular season because he was suspended that year. Was motivated and ended up the Outstanding Canadian and MVP.
2nd and 4 now after that Harris carry. Bethel Thompson, deep right, intended for Ambles, but not close. It falls incomplete, and we have a 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, that one's on McLeod Bethel Thompson. He had Markeith Ambles open on the corner route. Ambles ran a nice route. Take a look at former Calgary Stampeder is going to come out and run that corner route. Gets inside position and then flashes his hips to the sideline. And there was a window there, even though Desmond Lawrence was falling underneath it, and that may have been what distracted Bethel Thompson.
So veteran kicker Boris Beatty in his first Grey Cup will try to score the first points of this game. John Haggerty to put it down right in the middle from about 47 yards away for Beatty. It's up. And it's good. And the Argos on their 2nd possession get close enough to get on the board. 47-yarder by Beatty and a 3-0 lead. Grey Cup 109, First meeting of the Bombers and Argos in 72 years in this big game, and that was close. And the Bombers looked even better. Red hot start and ended up with a club record 15 wins.
Yeah, franchise record 15 wins. Zach Collaros outstanding offensively. Of course, the MOP. They had the outstanding lineman, the outstanding rookie, coach of the year. Don't think for a second that's not motivating the Toronto Argonauts here tonight, that they took home all that hardware on Thursday.
4 big awards for the Bombers on Thursday night. Play big, first down from the 40, and a deep look. Collaros for Dalton Schoen, so close. Off his hands. Royce Mechie, Jamal Peters were there, but Schoen, the rookie of the year, was so close to having a big grab in his first Grey Cup.
Yeah, it looks like by design, safety Royce Mechie was trying to just poach the crossing route, so he is too shallow to really help on this, but the guy who makes the play with straight hustle is the guy who led the league in interceptions, Jamal Peters, fighting to get back there. Little help from Mechie, and they just get there in time.
That close for big play Winnipeg. It's a 2nd and 10 now from their 40. Trailing 3-0 early in this game. And it's off for Oliveira, who takes the hit coming in after he failed to catch that one a bit too far. And it was Peters coming in and making him pay anyway as it falls incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
You know, the Toronto Argonauts defense has all year created turnovers. They are a physical group. We saw on that incompletion, Jamal Peters, who just made the play on the knockdown, step up and put a little hit on Brady Oliveira just to make a point and send a message. They led the league in forced takeaways.
So Leggio to punt it again, standing at the Winnipeg 26. Javon League is back for it. Around the 25, Toronto, punt at 46 yards. Going up the right. He's got some room, and a flag does come out as he gets it up at midfield. First flag of this Grey Cup on that special.
During the return, illegal block, Toronto, number 8. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down, Toronto.
Deshaun Amos called for the illegal block, negating a good return by Leak to get it up at midfield. So that ball will come back deeper in the Argo zone to inside the 20.
And a push in the back, right at the point of attack.
Both the left and Harris in right now, and Harris with the ball, and classic Andrew Harris style. How many times do we see that with Winnipeg? Feeling his way through and picking up 10 yards exactly.
Now all the conversations we had with Andrew Harris, how he presses the line of scrimmage. He'll take the ball. He'll be patient at times. Sometimes he'll wait for those blocks to get set up in front of him. He got a couple there, one from Ryan Hunter. He just pressed the line. Patience, 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 hit it, and then make sure when you get tackled forward.
He had 9 rushes for 42 yards and a touchdown in the East Final. He also had 1 big catch for 30 yards to set up another TD. Now a fake to Ouellette and a quick throw to the right for Tavares Daniels.
Mentioned his 3rd straight Grey Cup. 2 with Winnipeg, this one with the Argos. He also played for the BC Lions back in 2011, where he started his CFL career. 10 carries, 65 yards, and most valuable Canadian in that one. Highly motivated in 19 to make a point after his suspension, and I think he's as motivated right here tonight to play against his old team.
It was a surprise the week of the Eastern Final that, yes, indeed, he was coming back far earlier than anyone expected from that torn pectoral muscle that happened back in August. Making a statement early on, takes the toss to the left. Andrew Harris. The defender, and gets even more. Up near midfield and fired up against his old club early on.
Well, this this is why he's so tough to defend against. He can play the physical game. He can be patient and make you miss in the back end when you're in the hole, but he can also get outside with that acceleration. And how about this athleticism? 16-yard gain for number 33 to get them going in the run game.
He does not look like he has missed a beat with all that time off back last week. And it's A.J. Ouellette now, cutting back to the right. A little bit more of a power game from Ouellette here, and a gain of 7 more. Both of these running backs can run it with power. Ouellette has said really becoming better known when Harris was on the sidelines hurt.
Well, he's been outstanding. Oh, you know, over 500 yards rushing when he replaced Andrew Harris. But yeah, when they work in tandem, think back to that Eastern final, he had 90 yards of offense, Ouellette, when he got his opportunity. So they're a great 1-2 punch in the run game.
Seen both of them so far. They had a big presence in that Eastern final against the Alouettes, scoring the first 2 touchdowns for Toronto. Harris and Ouellette. Ouellette in, faking to him. Bethel Thompson to the right, complete. Coming back and turning up. And that is Brandon Banks in another Grey Cup, looking for that elusive first win and his first touch of the big game in 2022.
I asked McLeod Bethel Thompson this week about playing against Jackson Jeffcoat and Willie Jefferson, and he said with both of those guys, you got to watch to make sure that A, you got them blocked up, but B, that they don't drop and become athletes like linebackers. McLeod Bethel Thompson paying the price for that throw, number 94 in his kitchen.
It was a gain of 6 for Brandon Banks, playing in Grey Cup number 5. The other 4, of course, with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Quickly, Bethel Thompson, and down and incomplete, intended for Daniels. And that's with Desmond Lawrence, who was with the Ticats last year when they lost to Winnipeg in the Grey Cup game.
Full blitz there from defensive coordinator Richie Hall. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers putting some pressure on McLeod Bethel Thompson. Guy highly respected across the Canadian Football League, a former head coach, and Richie Hall, and a former teammate of mine here in Saskatchewan. Outstanding job with this Winnipeg defense, looking to three-peat here tonight.
2nd and 10. Argos at the Winnipeg 44.
Here it comes.
By 3 with the blitz coming. Bethel Thompson runs out of time. Strip sack. He goes down. Ball comes out. Bombers say they have it, and they do. First turnover of the Grey Cup. It goes Winnipeg's way.
When you get full blitz, you've got to have a hot route. He didn't.
Jackson Jeffcoat, much like he did in the Grey Cup in 2019. A nightmare for quarter. Josh Rosh and the panel dressed a little more warmly than you see them there, Kate, and the bunch. And that bunch includes Paul Lampleys now and Bo Levi Mitchell. Great to have them back as well. And this Grey Cup coverage still in the first quarter. Jackson Jeffcoat with the strip of the ball from McLeod Bethel Thompson, forcing the first turnover. And Winnipeg up near midfield, handing it off to Brady Oliveira on first down. He finds a hole, spins and keeps going inside the Argo 50. So we've seen some running in this game from the master and the protege.
Well, in that Western final I mentioned in the second half against the BC Lions, Brady Oliveira just took over the game, and he's the reason that they got to the next level and to the Grey Cup championship with 20 carries for 130 yards, most of them in the second half. Little bit of a slow start here tonight, but that run will get them going.
Gain of 12, Oliveira. 49 of Toronto. Winnipeg on the move. Oliveira again, working his way through, and picks up 6 more yards for the Bombers.
Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Toronto Argonauts, and up front, the disruptor in Jagera Davis, 7 sacks. This is his 6th consecutive Grey Cup appearance in 6 years in the CFL. Their leading tackler was Enoch Mwamba. Jonathan Jones plays for their defensive nominee, and Wynton McManus at linebacker will watch him. And Jamal Peters, I mentioned, led the CFL in interceptions with 6.
Couple of big carries for Brady Oliveira. 2nd down and 4. Oliveira again, but that time the door is closed. Jonathan Jones among newcomer signed recently in Jared Brinkman.
You know, this is why I love this matchup in this Grey Cup, because this defense with Enoch Muamba at the middle is designed to combat the rush game for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They're heavy at defensive tackle at 270 in Dwayne Hendricks and Sean Oakman at almost 290 pounds, and then an all-star caliber linebacker in Enoch Muamba with 75 defensive tackles. He's going to go head-to-head with Brady Oliveira all night long.
So with the ball at the 43, Mark Leggio will punt in just his side of midfield. No field goal try. Instead, trying to get them down deep. Off to the right, and it sails out of bounds right around the 15. Has to get inside the 15 for it not to be a penalty going out, and indeed he did. So good placement by Leggio to get it at the 13. Argos with an early field goal lead the 2022 Grey Cup on TSN from Regina. And Claire Hanna.
Well, he's already had a couple good carries, and this game is personal for Andrew Harris. He spent 6 seasons with the Bombers, won 2 Grey Cups, was an MVP, but he also called Winnipeg and calls it still home. And he said the hardest part about going to Toronto, which made it life-altering, was that he had to leave his 14-year-old daughter, Hazel, back in Winnipeg. He said they missed each other like crazy, but she understood what he needed to do, especially given his history with the Bombers. Well, this week, she hasn't really paid that much attention to his football career recently, and she hates the cold, so it not only shocked him, but it brought a tear to his eye when she said, "Dad, I want to watch you on Sunday in case it's the last time I ever see you play."
And the way he's playing right now, Claire, it doesn't look like it should be his last game. His 4th carry. Coming into that carry, he had 32 yards, but you do wonder at age 35 how many more times Andrew Harris will suit up, especially if he's able to win another Grey Cup today.
Well, I hope he continues, because it's been an absolute pleasure to watch him play. His former teammate Adam Bighill's got his bullseye right on him too, right between the 3 and the 3. This is another game inside the game that we will watch. One of the best all-time linebackers in CFL history, and Adam Bighill against the best Canadian tailback in the history of the league.
And it's back in his hands again, but he's taken down by another old teammate, Jackson Jeffco.
So quick from the backside. That's Jackson Jeffcoat on this run. You know, when Andrew Harris early in this game was patient and picked up 10, well, he was patient that time too, but Jeffcoat caught him from behind.
Janarian Grant taking the Haggerty punt. Off the hop, back down to his 40. Gets up across the 50 after a 54-yard punt with the help of a bit of a roll. So Zach Collaros, back-to-back most outstanding player awards, exclusive company as well. As you look at the list, Glenn, that's really a who's who in CFL history at quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Anthony Calvillo, all-time leader in passing yards. Doug Flutie in all his championships and 6,000-yard seasons. Played against Doug Flutie and Dieter Brock, and that wasn't fun.
Flutie in there
as a safety
with 5. He won the MOP just about every year he was in the league. But what a run by Collaros since coming to Winnipeg in 2019. Good job by Oliveira picking up the block. As Collaros gets it away, it's tipped. It's nearly intercepted by the leader in the CFL in the regular season at picks, Jamal Peters.
This is the first time that in this game we've seen Zach Collaros try to get out and use his mobility. This is one of the things that he's been so dangerous with this year against opposing defenses. When he gets outside of the pocket, his receivers know the scramble rules down pat, and they usually make a big play out of it. Now I'm watching for that ankle. Not quite as mobile as he was through the regular season. Again, that ankle injury just in the deep into the 4th quarter of the West Final.
And late in the 1st quarter, Collaros is 0 for 3. Trying again here with some heat coming, and he does finally dump it off and does get his first completion just across midfield to another veteran of Grey Cups past, Greg Ellingson. say. But not enough for a first down, as the punting unit will come back on again.
You know, again, there was no question that Collaros was going to play in this game. Championship game, and what a great season he's had. The question was, how mobile would he be? And he can still move around. He can negotiate the pocket, but he was making big plays on the run through the regular season, and that may be hampered a little bit tonight.
So good job done by the Argo defense. That is the third 2 and out for the Bomber offense. Now it's Leggio. Stands at his 45 to punt it away to Javon Lee. Running in to catch it. Inside the 20. Gets it up to the 30 after a punt of 32, and the quarter comes to an end. Tight defensive first quarter, but the Argos do manage some points and manage to run that football as well. 47-yarder by Boris Beatty. That's what we have so far. 15 minutes through Grey Cup 109 on TSA. Through one quarter of the Grey Cup game, the Argos lead at 3-0. But as you look at the numbers, Glenn, it's been difficult in these offenses, especially for Winnipeg, to get something going.
Yeah, well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defensively have got the blitz going against McLeod Bethel Thompson. We see Jackson Jeffcoat getting more and more involved. He's made a couple of plays. And if you're wondering about the running backs, Andrew Harris 5 for 36, Brady Oliveira 4 for 16. So both trying to get some traction, both teams offensively, but defenses can win too. And right now the defenses have the edge.
I was going to say, we didn't talk much about the weather before because the weather is very good this time of year. I mean, it was -1 heading into game time and not much of a wind, and the field looks like it's in great shape. But defenses taking charge early on, although we have seen the Argos especially able to run the football. Ron Leak is in the backfield, and there's the attempt for the first catch by Gittins, and it falls incomplete, second down.
The quick game trying to get it out to Curly Gittins and trying to get him going. I mean, 1,000-yard season for Curly Gittins, 300-yard games throughout the year. The Wilfrid Laurier product. An outstanding season in year 3 with the Toronto Argonauts. Their leading receiver. And yeah, if your offense needs to find some traction, get it to 19.
To Cam Phillips, his first Grey Cup catch. And the Argos are on the move in Bomber territory after a gain of 37 yards.
What a great adjustment by Cam Phillips, as he's going to run down the field here on a deep seam. But because McLeod Bethel Thompson once again is facing pressure, he can't get all of it what he wants on the ball. So Cam Phillips tracks it. He cuts underneath the defender for the first big play for the Argos down the field.
Saw Jamal Parker in the coverage getting turned around in the Phillips route. Inside the 45, swinging it out to Marquise Ambles. And Ambles gets another first down inside the Winnipeg 30.
They've got playmakers. We've seen first attempt to Curly Gittins, trying to get him going. Marquise Ambles, couple of targets for him already, and all of a sudden some adjustments being made by the Argos, knowing that Winnipeg, when they had success in the first quarter, went with blitz, trying to get the ball out of Macbeth's hands quickly.
Well, teammate of Bo Levi Mitchell with the Stampeders. They're from 18 to 21. Quickly to the right, and it's too far. Going back to Ambles there. The second down coming up for Toronto.
Pressure off the edge again. Richie Hall digging deep into his playbook to come out with some pressure packages that is forcing Bethel Thompson to just be off his game just a little on some of these throws. I mean, that one had a chance to Ambles, but he had to throw it around the rush.
Up over the ball from the Toronto Argonauts, East Division champions, looking to add to their lead. The Winnipeg 26. Pressure again, they've got it. Casey Sales to finish it off. But there was a lot of heat up front by Winnipeg, and Bethel Thompson ran out of time. So Boris Beatty will come on to see if they they can double their lead with another field goal.
Dedrick Nichols is going to also get involved in this one. Willie Jefferson moves inside. Again, some exotic style blitzes. Block up front on Jefferson.
In the first quarter, Boris Beatty clicked on a 47-yarder. This one will be put down by John Haggerty, 36 yards away. To go 2 for 2 and make it a 6-0 ball game. This time breaking right, and he missed it. The last one tailed off to the left, and he barely made it, and that one is a miss. So a point on the board instead of 3 more. And a 4-0 Argo lead in Grey Cup 109. Might have been the biggest story of Grey Cup week. How is Zach Collaros' injured right ankle? Let's head down and get more from Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, Rod, Zach Collaros has injured that right ankle before. His senior year at the University of Cincinnati, he actually broke the ankle and had a plate surgically put into it. Now, the surgeon that did that, Dr. Angelo Colosimo, who works with the University of Cincinnati and with the Cincinnati Bengals, told him at the time, because of the plate that's put in, you will never suffer a catastrophic injury to that ankle again. And in fact, that doctor was watching the game last week, and when he saw Zach get hurt, he knew he was going to be okay. And following the game, the Winnipeg medical staff told Collaros, you better call him and thank him because he may have saved you. The two men visited for 10 minutes earlier this week. Zach said thank you, and the doctor said, I want to sign jersey, make sure it's on its way soon.
Expect at least that. Thank you, Farhan. Quite a story after that injury, and he's got a wide open receiver. It is caught, and a deep catch there by Dalton Schoen, the rookie of the year, with a big Grey Cup catch.
Yeah, I thought Zach Collaros was the bionic man, and now we know that he certainly is, because this throw, just check it out, he's right down the seam. He's got a window to fit it in there between the safety and the corner, a 39-yard gain, and just like that, both offenses starting to stretch the field a little bit and open things up.
Dalton Schoen, what a story. Over 1,400 yards receiving, leading the CFL and in receiving touchdowns with 16 as well. In this, his first CFL season. Back to the ground to Brady Oliveira. And he has a good carry on first down as they get deeper into Argo territory, looking for their first points of this Grey Cup. A gain of 8 by Oliveira.
First 4 games for Brady Oliveira the regular season, he was trying to be Andrew Harris, and he wasn't having the success that Andrew had. And then he said to me about game 5 or 6, he said, I just got to be myself. I got to be Brady Oliveira. And since then, outstanding. 1,000-yard gain, good run right there. 1,000-yard season, I should say, and a great run right there. Get him in a second and short.
Power package comes in. Extra offensive lineman, Liam Dobson, Chris Kolinkowski. And the second down and 2 at the Toronto 23. Handing off, running that ball, getting it inside the 20. And that's enough for another Winnipeg first down.
So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the offseason after last year's championship season lose Kenny Lawler, their #1 receiver, and they pick up Dalton Schoen as a rookie. And what does he do? He goes out and finishes first in all the categories that really matter. Yards, TD catches, average, second down conversions, and the big plays, the 30-plus yards. Dalton Schoen's had a heck of a season and the outstanding rookie in the Canadian Football League.
And in at quarterback now, the one who's third in the depth chart, Dakota Prukop, who started his CFL career with the Toronto Argonauts. And he'll throw after the fakes, and it's down and just a little bit too far outside, intended for Dalton Schoen inside the 5.
Well, sometimes this type of strategy works when you put in a backup quarterback, you run a different type of play, different type of offense, little play action, he rolls out, and then Schoen really doesn't have a chance. I think even if he catches this pass, he is out of bounds by the time Prukop gets it over there.
We've seen Winnipeg do this before, as you say, switch it up at QB. Collaros is back in this game. It's a 2nd and 10 now at the Toronto 20. 4-0 Argos. As Collaros is to throw. The 4-man rush flags out as he's flushed to the right. Gets rid of it, and it is caught by Greg Ellingson. Nice job working the sideline by Ellingson. Down at the 10. It's the second flag of this game, and would look to be enough for a first down. 11 yards the gain, pending the outcome of the flag.
Too many players, Toronto. The penalties declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Too many men. The game stands, first down, Winnipeg.
This is what Zach Collaros did all season long. Escape, get on the edge, get outside of containment, and then his receivers will react. They'll find the hole. The scramble rules are very simple. If you have a deep route, you come back to the ball. That's what Greg Ellingson did. If you have a short route, you go deep. They're the best in the league at doing it, and they have been all year. That was a key first down.
Getting inside the 10, so it's a first and goal now. Corey Mace spent so many years with the Calgary Stampeders as player and coach, defensive coordinator of the Argonauts. From the 9, the fake, complete to Nick Dembski. His first touch in this Grey Cup. The top Canadian of the Grey Cup in 2021 has 7 yards to set up a second and goal that much closer to the end zone.
Dembski's just going to sit down to the strong side of the formation here and basically occur a play action to Brady Oliveira. This is a play designed to work to Dembski's strengths, which is breaking tackles, not this time on Royce Metchie. That's a solid tackle to give his defense another chance to stop to a field goal attempt. But that's a play designed to get it to Dembski because he breaks so many tackles.
Neither team has found the end zone yet in this Grey Cup. Best chance yet, second and goal from the 3. Dakota Prukop keeps it, driving. Can he get to break the plane? He can't. He gets close, but not quite there, and a third down and goal coming up for Mike O'Shea.
Well, he's got arguably the best offensive line in the league. He's got the offensive lineman of the 22 Canadian Football League season in Stanley Bryant. I don't think there's any question what he's going to do here on third down.
Biggest play of the ball game coming up. Biggest play yet. Here in the second quarter, a third and goal. And a chance from the 1 for the Bombers to take the lead. Prukop. Touchdown. Dakota Prukop. And the Bombers move ahead.
Great push from the right side. Prukop just follows in behind Patrick Neufeld, University of Saskatchewan, up in Saskatoon. Right behind big number 53 for the first major of this game.
With Collaros on the side watching Prukop, the short yardage specialist, cap off an 8-play, 70-yard drive. Prukop had 6 rushing touchdowns in the regular season. And suffice to say, that's the biggest one of his career. As Mark Leggio looks to make it a 3-point lead. He does. Point after good. And the Bombers are on the board. Veteran and ex-Argo, Dakota Prukop, with the go-ahead touchdown for Winnipeg.
Take a look at the scoring drive for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Started with a deep ball, 39-yarder to the leading receiver in the Canadian Football League in the regular season, Dalton Schoen. Then he got Zach Collaros out on the edge, working it to Greg Ellingson down the sideline. That led to this. Dakota Prukop with the 1-yard quarterback sneak for the major. 8 plays, 70 yards for the Bombers.
And how many times have we seen it this season? A drive triggered by that connection from Collaros and the rookie. And it seems odd sometimes calling him a rookie. Dalton Schoen, the way he has played. But getting open, big catch to get him down, and it is capped off. Prukop talking things over with Drew Brown, the backup QB. A little bit of action in this season as well. But Collaros seems just fine, thank you very much, as Winnipeg has the lead in this 2022 Grey Cup, now by 3, halfway through the second quarter. As Mark Leggio lines it up to kick it off from the 30. Javon Leak back for the return for Toronto. And Leak takes it, 25, across the 30, across the 40. Good return by Leak to get it up to the 47. Dakota Prukop They get in close. They give it to 12. He gets it in. Bombers lead. 109th Grey Cup on TSN. Cup starting. The Grey Cup back in Saskatchewan for the 4th time and the first time at this new Mosaic Stadium. The last time back in 2013 when the Riders won at Old Taylor Field, just a few yards away where it used to be. A.J. Olette running back with McLeod Bethel Thompson. And the Argos trailing for the first time in this Grey Cup. More pressure as he does get it away. And it's close for Brandon Banks, who lifts it up and has a catch. And we remember last week when he had one bobbled off his foot, the replay showed that it counted. That one counts for 13 yards for Speedy B.
Yeah, he's made some great ones in his career. You mentioned the East Final, used his feet, his knee, and his arm to get it. It was a key catch then. That was a key catch as well.
Throwing again, and Daniels has it. Found some room, and it was threaded in nicely by Bethel Thompson. So back-to-back completions for the veteran Argo quarterback. That one to gain about 8-9 yards. 2nd and 1 coming up.
What I'm looking for a little bit here, Rod, is how Bethel Thompson and Ryan Dinwiddie, Brandon Banks getting some attention and talking to the training staff, but how Ryan Dinwiddie and Bethel Thompson are going to adjust to the pressure package that the Bombers are sending at them, especially on 2nd down, not 2nd and short, when they get in 2nd and long situations.
Chad Kelly, the backup quarterback, coming in short yardage. Keeps it. 2nd effort should be enough. Needed a yard to get close to the 40-yard line.
Take a look at what happened to Brandon Banks. 5th Grey Cup start for Banks. Let's take a look. Well, he didn't get hit. Non-contact injury. Tried to come out of his break. Looked like his knee just locked. Trying to walk it off down there.
He had 2 catches for 25 yards in the Eastern Final last week in Toronto's win over Montreal. Bethel Thompson throwing again on that 1st and 10 after Kelly got enough for the 1st down, intended for Daniels again, who was with the Stampeders and played in the 16 and 17 games when they were upset and was not healthy enough to play in the game they won in 2018. Still, of course, getting a ring with the Stampeders as they beat Ottawa 4 years ago. The Rookie of the Year back in 2016 with Calgary, Tavares Daniels. A.J. Olette back in at running back. 2nd and 10 to Winnipeg 41. To the left. It's complete inside the 30. Brandon Banks seems to be fine. Looked like he was injured back in the game, and he has his 2nd catch of this Grey Cup and a gain of 12.
That's one of the things that anyone that's analyzed the McLeod Bethel Thompson arm strength will tell you he can make every throw in the book. He's got a strong arm. This is a wide side out, even with the hash marks moved in. Brandon Banks walked off that knee problem. Big catch for a 1st down on the sideline.
He has a couple of Grey Cup touchdowns, including one in 2014 thrown by Zach Collaros with Hamilton. That's to no Argo near, and Dietrich Nichols, Winnipeg, was the closest one there as that is overthrown, and 2nd down coming up.
That was a communication issue. That wide receiver over there on the short side, like could have been a read route, and Tavares Daniels zigged when Bethel Thompson thought he'd zag. Is that 2nd and long? Does Richie Hall go with blitz here?
Willie Jefferson, ex-Saskatchewan Rough Rider, back in what used to be his home and trying to get the crowd fired up. With Kyle looking deep, left again into the end zone, but no. Great coverage by Winston Rose. And the intended Argo receiver looking at Daniels again, and so 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, it looks like they went right back to the same play where they had the communication issue, Rod. This time, Daniels is heading right down the sideline. Rose in pretty good position. Little push, little pull. Good no call by the officials.
And so on comes Boris Beatty again. He made one from 47 going the other way. Barely, it was heading left. And then the 2nd try from the same spot here, 36 yards away last time, pushed it a tie game, 7-7 late in the second. Earlier today, this morning, the Football Reporters of Canada breakfast, annual inductions into the Hall of Fame, and that man, Glenn Suter, so deserving. 27 years with us at TSN, going back to 1995, shortly after a great playing career with Saskatchewan. Partner, richly deserved for all the great years. You have been really the voice of the CFL on TSN all these years. Congratulations.
Absolutely love this game, you know that, and absolutely love the rules, the Canadians being featured, and this I love to represent every one of our crew members. Over 200 crew members working every job equally as important, working in sync, all the cameramen, 52 cameras in this game in the Grey Cup ride. You know that we are a piece of the puzzle, yes, but every job so important and such a great crew, so I'm proud to represent each and every one of them.
Oliveira picking up 3 yards on that first down.
This is the 3-minute warning.
The 3-minute warning comes out. Winnipeg ball. And back and forth they've gone. The Argos had the lead, then the Bombers. Now it's tied late in the first half of Grey Cup 109. Josh Ross. And then Bernas, Sanchez, Dunnigan, and Stiegel. Our halftime panel joined also by Paul Laplace and Bo Levi Mitchell. Lots to talk about in this 109th Grey Cup game, currently tied at 7. Defenses have been strong. This side, the Argos move the ball down and get it close enough for Boris Beatty again. So back to Zach Collaros. Last drive was a touchdown drive, including a 39-yard connection to Dalton Showman. Lots of time here. It's under 3 minutes, but plenty for the Bombers to work with. And heading right is Brady Oliveira. Had a hole and some tough yardage, and he doesn't want to give up on it either. As he gets 5 yards and up a little closer to the 50.
Defensive coordinator for the Argos, Corey Mays, has now got to deal with the balance in the Bomber offense. They are at their best when Brady Oliveira is picking up 7-8 on first down. And then Zach Collaros can open up the playbook, go play action. The disruptor, Jagger Davis, could help to put an end to that.
You want to get to the Grey Cup, get that guy in your team.
Exactly.
6 years in the CFL, and this is his 6th Grey Cup game. Calgary and Hamilton before his first with the Argos back to Dakota Bruco. 3rd and 1, goes right, and should have enough. He didn't even need a yard, he needed about a foot.
Really is
to the 50.
Really is incredible when you think of Jagger Davis and in Calgary for Cups in 16, 17, 18. Then he goes to Hamilton. Last 2 years, Cup appearances. And now with the Argos, he is back. Now, the downside for Jagger Davis is there's only 1 win.
Yeah, with 2018 over Ottawa with the Stampeders, and like Brandon Banks, his 3rd straight Grey Cup, and all against Winnipeg. 2 with Hamilton, now 1 with the Argos.
6 years in the league, 6 times to the Cup.
That's amazing. It is a first down for the Bomber 50. Collaros, it's knocked away, and it's recovered by Winnipeg. Dwayne Hendricks stripped it away from Collaros, and a good break for the Bombers to get the ball back.
Great push by Dwayne Hendricks over the center. He is going to come up with a real nice swim move, little punch and rip underneath, and then just strip the ball out of the hands of Zach Collaros. He's getting ready to load it up, and 99 gets the paw on it right there.
You mentioned the center that he beat. It was Michael Couture alertly falling on that football after it got knocked out of the right hand of Zach Collaros. Dwayne Hendricks in his 2nd year in the CFL at the University of Pittsburgh to give him a sack for that. Setting up a long screen here to Rasheed Bailey. Bailey with his first touch in this Grey Cup. And has a good carry after the catch to get it back up closer to midfield. A gain of 17 yards. Not enough for the first down, but...
Well, with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Rod, I'm just talking about this they don't beat themselves. If you're wondering how a team can get to 15 wins, that doesn't convert and get them a first down that play. But the patience from Zach Collaros to dump it across the middle on that short crosser, knows he's probably not going to get the first down, but he's going to get enough field position out of it to get his punt team out there, get the ball deep, so it gives his defense a chance to keep McLeod Bethel Thompson off the scoreboard before the end of the half. This is a Bomber team in all three phases that do not beat themselves.
The fifth time in this Grey Cup that Mark Leggio will punt it away, but you're right, 17 yards closer. Gets it to Javon Leake, the punt at 45, and Leake up the near side on that return with 1:29 to go until halftime.
Said that.
We got rebel left, X slide. We got good slide.
They have time.
X slide. X is the wide receiver. It's Tavares Daniels.
Going on to the right for Curly Gittens, who slams his hands down in frustration after that drop on first down.
Yeah, these little bubble screens to start to get Curly Gittens going are just, it looks like he is fighting it a little bit. Grey Cup here, you know, he's got a higher expectation. The bar's been pushed up. He's fighting the ball a little bit. He's got to just let it go and think about the next play.
Still looking for his first Grey Cup catch. Second and 10, 1:25 on the clock until halftime.
Here we come.
Blitz coming. Knocked away. And who do you think could do that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chance for Willie Jefferson to celebrate, doing what he has so often done best.
Just a phenomenal athlete that stands 6'7", 252 pounds, and gets in the passing lane, athletic. McLeod Bethel Thompson told me, I got to watch the guy because he's like a linebacker. He's so quick to the ball, he'll drop, and he'll back the ball down in midair.
Off the punt, Janarian Grant has it. He gets it up near the 50, still over a minute to go. Lots of time for the Bombers. We mentioned the CFL awards handed out on Thursday night, and there they are. Lots of Bombers. Collaros, Stanley Bryant, top line offensive lineman again. Dalton Schoen, top rookie, and Mike O'Shea, head coach, and Nathan Rourke.
Yeah.
Even with the injury, what a remarkable season that young man had with the BC Lions.
Yeah, just a special talent. It was a real pleasure to watch Nathan Rourke go to work. Canadian quarterback, breaking all the Canadian passing records. Congratulations to all the award winners.
Lorenzo Malden as well, top defensive player. The Red Blacks taking the handoff, completing the pass. It's in the hands of Nick Dembski again, who has good yardage after the catch for Winnipeg first down. 15-yard gain for the top Canadian in last year's Grey Cup. And it's still lots of time in the clock at just over a minute. First and 10. Deep look. Dalton Schoen nearly intercepted to Sean Amos. A chance he'd like to have back as he stepped in front of Schoen and nearly had it picked off.
Yeah, Dalton Schoen is going to turn into the defensive back here because Deshaun Amos has caught up and has better position on the ball. Now Amos is going, you're going to see his reaction after he drops this because he wanted to high point that. As he's backing up, go up and catch it high with your hands rather than wait for it to come down to your stomach. That's how Dalton Schoen got a chance to tackle him and prevent the interception.
There is a breeze picking up here at Mosaic, blowing against the Blue Bombers. And a second and 10 for the Toronto 45. Collaros steps up, takes off, and he goes down, takes a bit of a hit from Robert Priester and Jagarrett Davison to help out on that tackle, but we see Collaros, the ankle seems to be fine as he goes on the run on that second down play and picked up 7 yards. And an important and 7 as well in terms of field goal position.
There's Buck Pierce calling the plays for Zach Collaros, the offensive coordinator, former star quarterback in the Canadian Football League. Stepped in for Paul LaPolice when he went to Ottawa and has done a tremendous job with Zach Collaros. Collaros has got to be careful there when he gets up after that hit, because there are concussion spotters that are looking for any type of sign that he may have been a little wobbly. I don't think he was. Goes right to the bench, but that was a pretty big hit on that scramble.
So Mark Leggio will come on and try a field goal for the first time in this game. Dakota Prukop will put it down just beyond the 45. He was 32 of 39 in the regular season, longest of 55. Against a bit of a breeze, accurate enough and long enough to give the Bombers the lead again. Leggio nails that field goal in the Grey Cup as Winnipeg goes up 10-7. Some of the other award winners. Riders center Dan Clark winning the Jake Gadar Veterans Award. Also Gail Munn from the Riders winning the Jane Mobby Award, recognizing a highly valued yet unsung employee. Former BC Lions president Rick Lawlisher received the Hugh Campbell Distinguished Leadership Award. Also Manny Arsenault took home the Tom Payne Award. That is given to the player who displays qualities that distinguish them from their peers. And longtime official Jeff Hartman received the outstanding contributions to the league. Tavares Daniels has that one. 16 seconds on the clock after the field goal. There's Jeff Hartman again. And richly deserved congratulations to him as well. All of the award winners. This clock ticks down to halftime. That's completed. Cam Phillips, second catch. He had a big one earlier on in this quarter. 37 yards, but
is that close enough?
That's the question now. Boris Beatty would have a little bit of a breeze in his back end. You know,
they're going to try it. They're going to try a long one.
Now you recall, we did this game the last time the Argos were here against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the summer. At the end of the half, Boris Beatty tried a 61-yarder. He missed it, and Mario Alford took it out and returned it the length of the field for a touchdown.
Well, that's the issue. That's the issue. When you try a long one, these returners is certainly Janarian Grant. If you miss, watch out. He could take it to the house.
Now this one is closer. That one was 61. This one about a 53-yarder for Boris Beatty to tie the game before the half. And it is starting left and staying left. Out comes Janarian Grant. Starts off to the left. And is taken down Jack Cassar in his second year out of Carleton University with a big tackle there to ensure there's no further damage against the Argos at halftime. Players leaving the field. Interesting first half.
Well, first quarter was all defense. Second quarter, the offense has got on track. We've got a football game, and we got country music coming up at halftime.
Well, that's the half. Let's go down to Farhanlology with Dalton Schoen.
First Grey Cup, just the one catch, but a big one to set up the touchdown. Take us through it and just what it's like out there.
It's great out there. You know, I wish we as an offense would have executed a little better throughout the whole half. We put together the one touchdown drive, but, you know, I think at the end of the day, we know we need to be a little bit better.
I want to ask you about the play of Zach. Everyone was wondering what his ankle would look like. He's running out there seemingly giving everything he's got.
We know Zach's going to give all he's got. All of us knew that this whole week. He's a warrior. We knew he was going to battle. He's going to leave it all out there on the field, and we got the most confidence in the world in him.
Dalton, thanks for this.
Thank you.
All right, now let's send it over to the Argos sideline. Here's Claire Hanna with Andrew Harris.
Andrew, you've had some nice touches, but all you guys have been able to do is get field goals. How do you find the end zone?
I mean, yeah, we got to be better at picking up the blitz, the second long situations. They're getting some pressure on us, but I mean, I feel like our run game is successful. So we got to get back to doing that, sustain drives, keep their offense off the field, and you know, just capitalize on the opportunities when we get in the green zone.
Not only are you a leader on this team, but you've won the last 2 Grey Cups. What's your message going to be to your teammates at the half?
We're right in this, man, and we haven't played our best football yet, so we're a couple plays away to breaking this thing open, and we just got to stick at it. They're a good football team too. They're gonna make their plays. We just got to stay together, be a family, and come on all cylinders in the second half.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Well, 10-7 game as the defending champs take the lead into the half. Coming up, it's a trio of country music shining stars as they will unite for a one-time only collaboration for this year's Twisted Tea Grey Cup halftime show.
Thank you, Kate. And to go on Matt Dunnigan's comment about that first half, Glenn, surprised the Argos got away from the running game in the second quarter.
Yeah, I am. I mean, Andrew Harris had 5 carries all in the first quarter, and when you think about his 7.2 average in that first quarter on those 5 carries, they went away from it. As Bo mentioned, they got into second and long, and Richie Hall went with some blitz packages that provided the pressure.
So for Zach Collaros, 6 for 10, 95 yards, and a 3-point lead coming in. The field goal department, Boris Beatty, 2 for 4, 2 misses. Mark Leggio made his 1 try. Now, the Bombers had won the toss. They deferred, so they're going to get the ball in the second half. They'll be against a breeze gusting anywhere from 20 to 30 kilometers an hour tonight. It's -4, so very pleasant, all things considered, here in a late November day at Mosaic Stadium in Regina. Perfect conditions, you'd have to say, as Janarian Grant will go back to take it. So Winnipeg will get the ball, having the lead. 30 minutes away, they're hoping from a three-peat. Lots of football left. Curious what the Argos do offensively, if there's any change or going back to that running game. In the regular season, these two teams met once back in July in Toronto. It was a 1-point difference. That's it. 3 points now. Janarian Grant at the 10, across the 20, across the 30 before he is taken down. Benoit Marion there on special teams. And this is a look at Zach Collaros in that first half of this Grey Cup.
Yeah, it took both offenses a quarter to settle in, and then Zach Collaros goes down the field for 39 yards to Dalton Schoen. Made a couple of plays with his legs getting outside the pocket, as our coach, Coach LaPolice, mentioned at halftime. His ankle looks good. He's running around, he's making plays, and he's making sure he protects the football. Again, this Bomber team will not beat themselves.
In the hands of Grady Oliveira, no, it's fake. Collaros, well, he's throwing it for Ellingson on the sideline near the first down marker. Deshaun Amos is there, and it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for Winnipeg.
Coming off the edge, looks like it's Robbie Smith who's going to provide some pressure there. He's going to read that fake, slide down the line of scrimmage to make sure he takes his gap, and then he redirects and quickly tracks down Zach Collaros.
And Collaros is 2 for 10. The Bombers' offense is on 2nd down conversions. Another 2nd down and long now. 2nd and 10 to start the second half in the Winnipeg 32. Pressure's coming. They've got it. Robbie Smith is there. The blitzing Chris Edwards is there as well. And down goes Collaros inside the Winnipeg 20.
Yeah, they sent the house. This time, Corey Mace takes a page out of the Richie Hall defensive playbook and says, okay, we've got a pressure package too. Chris Edwards coming from the skies. He's way outside here, and he's going to end up coming, but so is Enoch Mwamba. So overloading the offensive line, 7-man pressure, 0. Well, they dropped linebacker in behind it, but good pressure on Collaros.
Good start to the second half with the Argo defense and a low punt against the breeze by Leggio. Leak has it inside the Bomber 50 with more down the sideline, and he is rocked by Brian Cole on that special teams coverage as Leak is slow to get up after an excellent return. The Argos in business on offense to start the second half.
Well, it's the all-time leader in special teams tackles out of Acadia, Mike Miller, I believe, who comes over. Well, no, it wasn't either. You're right, Brian Cole, but Mike Miller involved in that cover team, and they've been great. Again, all 3 phases all season long.
And this is the best field position to begin a drive for the Argos in this Grey Cup. At the 35 of Winnipeg for McLeod Bethel-Thompson, 10 for 21 for 142 in the first half. Back to Andrew Harris.
Yeah. Yeah,
back in his hands.
Yeah, they saw what we saw, and they saw what Matt Dunnigan saw, and Ryan Dinwiddie is going back to establish it to start the second half. This was Andrew Harris in his first 5 carries. This was all in the first quarter. He had 36 yards, an average of 7.2 per carry, and the Argonauts were gaining some traction as that was going on. They did not give it to Andrew Harris in the second quarter.
Carries in the first quarter. That was carry number 6 in a gain of 4. A 2nd and 6 to Winnipeg 31. With the pressure coming, he completes it. That is back in the hands of Tavares Daniels. That's his 4th catch of this Grey Cup. And a first down, Toronto.
Nice throw by McLeod Bethel Thompson to throw his receiver open. Winston Rose is in a great position here. Inside shoulder, and just throws him open. Throws it to that outside because he sees Rose hanging on the inside edge, and he throws it to the outside shoulder to Tavares Daniels. Throw him open.
4 catches, his best Grey Cup, 2017. He had 11 for 113 yards in Ottawa. At the Winnipeg 18, first down to the left quickly, and it's caught by Harris for another Argo first down. Inside the 10, down near the 5, it'll be a first and goal, Toronto.
This is one of the few times, a handful of times, that they will run both A.J. Ouellette and Andrew Harris in the same play. They'll get them both on the field at the same time. This time the fake to Ouellette and getting it out in the passing game to Andrew Harris.
They spot the ball at the 4, a first and goal, deepest the Argos have gone in this Grey Cup. Settling at this point just for field goal tries. This is a different feel for the double blue. A.J. Ouellette, 3-2-1, touchdown Argos.
They saw what we saw. Adjustments are everything in this game, and clearly Ryan Dinwiddie went in at halftime. He talks to McLeod Bethel Thompson. I'm almost certain Andrew Harris went over and just dropped a couple of hints in that halftime break to say, hey, let's go back to the run game. Let's go back. We had success in the first quarter. Get the run game. Get your backs out there. Big drive for Toronto to start the second half.
A.J. Ouellette, his first Grey Cup touchdown. Boris Beattie will try the point after, 32 yards out, to make it a 4-point Argo lead. They're back in front. They're back in front by 4. Well, that second half started about as well as it could for Toronto. Defensively and then on offense. A.J. Ouellette with a Grey Cup touchdown.
Toronto Argonauts open up with a big defensive stop and great field position. That sets up a 4-play, 35-yard drive, but the key to it for the Argos is the balance in it. 2 passes, 2 key runs, 2 plays, key plays, where both A.J. Ouellette and Andrew Harris were on the field at the same time, and Ouellette finds the end zone.
Harris got a couple of touches, running the ball again, and then that big reception to get him down to first and goal, and then cashed in by that product of the Ohio University Bobcats, A.J. Ouellette. As a Jim called No Name, making a name for himself this night, this season, in the backfield of the Argos, who now lead the Grey Cup by 4. Janarian Grant runs out of space up around Winnipeg 25. Back comes Zach Collaros, and the Winnipeg offense that is still struggling despite the 1 touchdown drive they had to find the kind of production that they've been used to this season.
Yeah, and I think that, that Buck Pierce probably looked at that first half and may go back to Brady Oliveira. I mean, 8 carries. He also had 36 yards in the first half. And that opened up some deeper throws against his own defense. There you go.
Handoff, and it's going nowhere. Nick Dembski, the other 10. Veteran linebacker Enoch Mwamba playing in his second Grey Cup.
Wow, he shot the gap here. Enoch Mwamba, watch how he will shoot the gap, play the play. He knows, too, that Winnipeg wants to go back to the draw board, get the run game going, and he just plays the play and steps up on Nick Dembski and makes the tackle in the backfield.
That's a loss of a yard for Dembski. Muamba in his rookie year with Winnipeg. Their top pick in 2011 went to the Grey Cup, losing to the BC Lions. Thought he'd be back every year. Finally back now. Big tackle, second and long. Polaris. The heat's coming again. They nearly get him. He gets away. Throws it to an open receiver. He's got down and shown. Another big catch for the CFL's top rookie and a gain of 26 yards up to the Winnipeg 50.
This is the Zach Collaros magic. This is what he has done all season to break down a defense. He should have been sacked for about a 7 or 8 yard loss. Missed him there. They missed him again. He gets out and around the edge, and he throws with accuracy on the run better than any quarterback in the league. All due respect to all the good ones, and there's a lot of them, but man, he's dangerous when he gets outside.
Throwing again on first down. First pitch of this Grey Cup for Drew Wolatarski. He was there in 19 and 21 as well. Gain of 8.
Takes away a little of that Argo momentum. That big play by Zach Collaros to get outside and move the chains. The Argos, you could see the jump in their step after the touchdown on the teams and on defense. Collaros' play took a little wind out of that set.
A little juice going in this game now, though. Offenses second and short now. He'll throw a lineman in on that running play by Brady Oliveira, who does have enough to pick up the first down. A gain of 3 for Oliveira. Across midfield, the Bombers have gone, looking to respond after the Argos found the end zone.
You know, when you look at a 15-win season, franchise record, you think that this was a dominating team, but they were into the final 3 minutes in a lot of their wins this season, and they found different ways to get it done.
From the Argo 49, first and 10. Nearly intercepted. Off the hands of Enoch Muamba. Nearly had a Grey Cup pick, but it falls incomplete, and a second down and 10 is coming up.
Boy, he does a nice job of disguising where he's dropping here. Enoch Muamba is going to trail off like this, like he's playing man-to-man on a crossing route. You'll see the bomber cross in front of his face, but he keeps climbing for depth, going back into that curl route instead of jumping up shallow, and he gets right in the throwing lane, and the only thing he forgot was the football.
Not close. To a turnover. Winnipeg does not turn the ball over yet in this Grey Cup. The Argos have flags out on the second and 10. Another flag out, and big Sean Oakman takes Collaros down in midfield.
We got to sort out.
Offside, Toronto, number 40. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
The end, Robbie Smith, third-year veteran out of Wilfrid Laurier, is called on the offside. So second down repeated. It'll be a 2nd and 5.
Yeah, he just jumped in snap count and got caught in the neutral zone, a yard between the line of scrimmage. And Robbie Smith out of Wilfrid Laurier. And is it just me, Rod, or am I seeing more and more players in the Canadian Football League that come out of Wilfrid Laurier? The Golden Hawks program doing a great job.
On this team alone, Curly Gittin, Sam Acheampong, also from the Golden Hawks program. You're right. Quite a few. 2nd and 5. Argo 34. It's complete. Rasheed Bailey has it. And has enough for another Winnipeg first down. Approaching the 35. Bombers on the move after a gain of 7.
One of the reasons that the Bombers are trying to repeat and have won 2 in a row is their great team chemistry. They have the tremendous culture that's been created by their players, as Michael Shea will say, but been facilitated by the coaching staff and management. When they get in tough situations, they battle back, they keep their calm, and that's what they're doing on this drive.
See Stanley Bryant, the top offensive lineman in the CFL again. Liam Dobson comes in. They have 6 old linemen now running this package on a 1st and 10 at the Argo 37. And they do run a toss inside for Oliveira, or Nick Dembski, excuse me, as he picks up a few yards down to the 35.
It looked like the action on that fake and interesting looking play deep in the playbook for Buck Pierce almost happened too fast. And Buck Pierce reached deep in there, and if it was a little more slower developing, it would have influenced the defense to move first to Brady Oliveira and maybe get out of their gap responsibilities. But it happened so fast that they were still sitting in their gaps.
Zelensky picks up 2. It's a 2nd and 8. It's a big Bomber drive after they've fallen behind in this game again, but they're in Argo territory. Inside the 35, Zach Collaros with time to his left, wide open, complete again to Dalton Schoen. A popular target all year, a popular target, tonight with his 3rd catch, and another one to move the sticks.
Got a drive going now. They're getting Dalton Schoen on this out route, and Schoen, as you mentioned, #1 target when Zach Collaros gets something going. He's looking for number 83, finds him on the sideline. He throws from deep in the pocket there, and he puts it right on the money.
He's popular. That's my point. He has been. And why not? The way he's played this year in his first in the CFL. Handing off. Oliveira breaks a tackle inside. Still going, Brady Oliveira. Great run by the Bomber running back to get it down, approaching the 10. A gain of 10 yards.
Just bobbing and weaving. Great vision from Brady Oliveira. And if you need another reason to cheer for this young superstar tailback who's just 24 years old, how about this? He saves puppies in the offseason. Over 400 puppies he saves and finds good homes. If you need another reason, there you go.
How can you not like a guy like that? And Brady, he's going to make that his life's work, by the way. He has said a lot about that. Dakota Prukop in. It's a 1st down. Around the 11. Toronto. Prukop keeps as a touchdown earlier in the night. Winnipeg's TD in short yardage, and that one he keeps it and gets a pickup of 4.
Just an outstanding bounce back drive though for the Bombers that they give up the touchdown. They get it. The Argos get the defensive stop. Real good field position. The 4-play touchdown drive. Bombers with the response right here.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Getting interesting in breakup 109. Winnipeg trying to retake the lead. They had it at halftime. Looking for it again. Pump fake. Now we'll look into the end zone. And a flag comes out. The coverage, Tavares McFadden, the field corner on Drew Wolotarski. It hit McFadden in the back, but it looks like he is the subject of this penalty.
Well, the play's made because of the patience from Zach Collaros and to make sure that
defensive pass interference, Toronto, number 20. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. 1st down, Winnipeg.
He buys some time, so then it becomes change of direction for Wolotarski, who is trying to fight for the ball, and there's a couple of examples of pass interference there. I think there was contact beyond 5 yards. Probably could have been called for screening. Correct call by the official.
Dakota Prukop again, looking for touchdown number 2, and he's got it. Prukop and the Bombers find the end zone a 2nd time and retake the lead.
And that's what championship teams do. That's what 15-win teams do. The opposition gets paid and they can make their plays, but it's what you do the next series. And Zach Collaros puts a drive together, marches it down the field. One offside mistake by the Argo defense. Bombers find the end zone.
Behind the big boys up front inside, Bray, Couture, Neufeld. You got Stanley Bryant, DeMarcus Hardrick too, and that great experienced offensive line working ahead. As Mark Leggio looks for another point after try after a short yardage touchdown by Dakota Prukop, who played for the Argonauts from 2017 to 2019.
Big Stanley Bryant went back there to congratulate Dakota Prukop. I don't know if he was congratulating him or going up there to say Just follow behind me and we'll be fine.
We'll lead the way. The Winnipeg O-line did. Royce Mechie. Injured Argo and getting some attention now. Stanley Bryant, veteran out of East Carolina, starting with the Calgary Stampeders, some great years there, winning a Grey Cup in 2014 before moving on to Winnipeg. And it's such an amazing run of success as Mechie is helped off the field. And a reminder, hockey fans, of what's coming up. The World Juniors on TSN. Canada's favorite holiday tradition gets underway. Boxing Day, the tournament returns to Canadian ice. You can catch every game live from Halifax and Moncton. The World Juniors live on TSN. So with Mechie off the field, they could go to the point after try now. Winnipeg leading this Grey Cup again. It's a night Dakota Prukop won't forget. Not a lot of yardage, but a lot of points with 2 rushing touchdowns. Winnipeg in front. And an Argo touchdown. How would they respond? Well, as you'd expect them to respond.
Starting this drive with a little Kolaris magic as he escapes the pocket, makes a big play for a first down. And yeah, they respond. They don't flinch when bad things happen to them. They rushed off the touchdown. The Argos take the lead. They go 13 plays, 85 yards, over 7 minutes with a huge response and retake the lead.
So now, how do the Argos respond to that? Legio with the kick. Javon Lake with the return. Up across the 30. And gets close to the 40. So good place for Andrew Harris, McLeod Bethel-Thompson in that Toronto offense to begin again. Broadcast to the memory of cameraman Jim Young, who recently passed away after a long battle with cancer. Jim worked on many sports for TSN, but football and the Grey Cup was always special to him. Known to all of us as Giraffe, his dedication and passion brought some of the most iconic images in Canadian sport through his lens, survived by his wife Judy. He was 60 years of age. He loved this event. Low end zone camera, best in the business. Jim Young. Argo football down again by 3 after the Winnipeg touchdown in the hands of Andrew Harris. Pulls his way up across the 45. So we saw more of Harris to start the second half, and A.J. Ouellette as well.
So in that first half, Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffco, about 1 in every 3 plays, they moved them into the inside position, defensive tackle. But if they're going to move them, that's where they can get some real mismatches on pass rush. But if they keep running the ball, they can try to neutralize those strong ends.
Well, Winnipeg knows what he's capable of doing in a game. But it's second down, and Bethel-Thompson does get it away, but not enough. A.J. Ouellette came back for the ball, and they stop him there. A flag does come out, however. Ouellette stopped shy of the first down.
Well, might have been a late hit by the Argos. It was Ryan Hunter possibly that was cruising. It looked like the tackle was clean. Let's see what this call is. Willie Jefferson took off to get over
after the play. Player misconduct foul. Toronto, number 62. 15-yard penalty. It'll be third down.
Look at 62 at the bottom of your screen, and he's just cruising, and then he sees the back of Willie Jefferson and gives him a shot after the whistle. So now Ryan Hunter, with the new rule, cannot get another one of those penalties, or he'll have to leave the football game.
It was going to be third down anyway, but now the Argos are forced 15 further back to their 31. And back further than that is John Haggerty to punt this one away to Janarian Brink. So that one penalty swings the field Winnipeg's way. Is dragged back by the punt coverage team of the Toronto Argonauts. In Grey Cup 109, 17-4 going to the Grey Cups. He's used to a lot of support from family. Let's go back to Claire Hanna with that story.
Yeah, and Jaguar Davis is the first player since 1983 to make 6 consecutive appearances at the Grey Cup, and it's a game he said he's never taken for granted. This is one he knows players have fought for their whole career. Sometimes they never make it here, and he says he treats it like any other game, but there is one pregame ritual that he has every Grey Cup, and that is a text from his mom, Gayla Davis. Now, she's made it to 4 of the last one. She couldn't make it here today because of flight issues, but he is thinking about her during this game because she said, be you, be great, and play like if I was there cheering you on in the stands, guys.
And Claire, when the day comes, inevitably, some year it will, when he's not in the Grey Cup, it's going to feel strange.
Maybe not. 89 games for Jaguar Davis. 49 sacks in his career.
Outstanding play. Bomber football in the 40. Taking the handoff, throwing it out to Greg Ellingson, who has it for a gain of about 5 yards. Winnipeg, second down.
Jaguar Davis flashed there and forced the quick throw from Kolaris. He's a disruptor at the level of Jackson Jeffcoat and Willie Jefferson. You know, defensive ends throughout the history of this great league, and this is 109, remember. Defensive ends can take over a game by themselves.
We've seen them drop back into coverage before. Cover running back.
I think
that with a snap of the ball.
Jaguar Davis lining up over Jamarcus Hardrick just got him out of his stance.
Winnipeg, number 51. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Great right tackle, veteran Jamarcus Hardrick. By the way, the first penalty taken by the Bombers in this Grey Cup.
Yeah, and there's Jaguar Davis lining up across from Jamarcus Hardrick, or Hardrick, and see that early movement.
Davis is quick to point out. Second down and 11. The tallest player, even taller than Willie Jefferson. Sean Oakman inside. Enoch Mwamba. Some pressure from that Toronto defense to force the Bombers to kick it away.
That's what I mean about the matchup against Winnipeg, that the Argos are equipped up front because of the size of their interior D linemen. They get a good push up the middle. Sean Oakman is 290 pounds. Great against the run, but you run a stunt like that, he can get to the quarterback too.
Leggio with the punt, it rolls out of bounds at the Argo 43. Mike O'Shea, we talk about the Bomber repeat, and how about his legacy as well. Grey Cup champions to three-peat since 1925. Well, Edmonton doing it twice, once in the modern-day history of the CFL, and the Argos going back before the formation of the CFL from 1945 to 47. But uncommon, remarkable, and Winnipeg has a chance to do it tonight.
Well, and Zach Kolaris, if he can get it done, the only other quarterback is Warren Moon.
From the Toronto 43, taking to Harris. Daniels bobbled it, but he does catch it. Up around the 50 on that first down play, and it'll be about a 2nd and 3 coming up.
One possession game again in the Canadian Football League. We've had over 60% in the regular season. One possession games decided in the final 3 minutes. The Bombers won all of their one possession down to the final 3-minute games this year, led by that man who could, if he three-peats, get to the Warren Moon status.
This will be the last play of the third quarter. It's a 2nd and short. About 2 yards needed.
Sir.
That was Andrew Harris, and he was stuck. And a 3rd and short is coming up to start the 4th quarter. Casey Sayles, defensive tackle. Up big for that Winnipeg defense. Well, the Argos showing a lot of life in that 3rd quarter, but Winnipeg came back. They retook their lead. They have a 3-point edge with 15 minutes to go. Through 3 quarters of Grey Cup 109, it is close. The Bombers lead it by a field goal. And maybe the biggest story in the previous 15 minutes, Glenn, is how Winnipeg, and we've seen it so many times, responded after the Argos took the initiative and took the lead with a touchdown.
Yeah, you just mentioned that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with just 1 penalty that just happened recently here. So this is what I mean about Winnipeg, and they're a 3-phase team that stick together even when they go down in the scoreboard. Now you got to think that maybe the Argos are going to need to create one of those turnovers. They created more than any team in the league in the regular season. They may need to create another one. And we got a football game going into the 4th.
We do, and it's in the hands after the Argos.
Look out.
Here we go again. Can he do it again? And a punt return touchdown in the Western Final. The CFL's top returner has won in the Grey Cup. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Wow.
Let's go.
Janarian Grant has got a lot of special teams coaches looking out on the field, shaking their head, thinking, how do we stop this guy? He just needs a tiny little seam, and he will hit it, and now he outruns the angles. Goodbye. 102-yard punt return touchdown.
And a record. Terry Williams of the Stampeders returned one 97 yards in the 2018 Grey Cup against Ottawa. And this one even further for Janarian Grant. Been such an electric player, and what a way for Winnipeg to start the final 15 minutes of this Grey Cup. The point after from Leggio, and no, he misses it left. Leggio missed 2 extra points in the Western Final last week against BC. So that one, it's still a 2-score game. It's 23-14 with Winnipeg leading it by 9.
So how does he get these seams? How does Janarian Grant make these plays time after time? Well, it's athletic ability and speed, but watch Robbie Smith here. His lane is supposed to be right there. You got a guy there, you got a man here, you got another contained man. Robbie Smith gets pushed a little bit out of his lane, and that's all that Janarian Grant needs. Now he's got open field, and the speed element kicks in, and he puts it in another gear right here. Now all the angles are broken. And when I say angles, you're trying to cut a runner off by going deeper than where he's at. And he outruns those angles with tremendous speed.
That is the 4th punt return touchdown for Janarian Grant. That's Mickey Donovan, by the way, the special teams coordinator for the Argos. And that look says it all. And that look says it all as well from a guy who used to be a special teams coordinator in Michael O'Shea. But saying about Grant, 4 punt return touchdowns this year, 2 in the regular season, and 2 in the playoffs tonight and last week in the West Final.
They are a 3-phase team.
Let's go.
All 3 phases
It ain't over.
contribute.
It ain't over.
Now a sense of urgency for McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Javon Leak on the return. Gets up shy of the 40. Mentioning last week a game breaker against the BC Lions in the Western Final.
Yeah, just one of the great aspects of Canadian football. The special teams are 1/3 of the game, and they can change a game on a dime. This was the West Final, another big return. And right after that return, the Bombers went into the run game on offense and grinded it down. But that was the big play that turned it.
In his 3rd year out of Rutgers, and he was electric from the moment he arrived in the CFL in 2019. He wants a 3rd straight ring. He certainly helped his cause. Bethel Thompson with a hand in his face and launches it looking for Brandon Banks. Desmond Lawrence was there every step of the way as it falls incomplete.
Yeah, I think Brandon Banks got inside on that deep route, and on the throw, it looked like Bethel Thompson was trying to throw it outside. Watch how he goes up the field. He's working one-on-one, and see that little move. Now see that cut back to the inside. I think that fooled McLeod Bethel Thompson. They're on the different page there. He thought that Brandon Banks was going to stay outside, and guess who was right in his kitchen again? Jeffco.
Jackson Jeffco, the one applying the heat. 2nd and 10. stops, and a flag has come out back in the Argo backfield.
Well, if this play stands, it may be the biggest for the Argos.
Major foul, roughing the passer.
Yep.
95 Winnipeg. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They will tack that on. That's Jake Thomas. Jake Thomas is going to get the late hit, but this is a monster play with all the momentum on the Bombers' side right now. McLeod Bethel Thompson absolutely had to get at least a couple of first downs to try and slow the momentum, and this hit going to tack on 15.
26-yard catch plus the 15 and a gain of 41 to the Winnipeg 30. First and 10 Toronto. Handing off A.J. Olette. Nowhere to go. Tough sledding inside against that Blue Bomber defense and the tackle Casey Sales, who stops it. Old teammates, by the way, with the Ohio Bobcats, Sales and Olette. They know each other. Teammates of Nathan Rourke as well. Olette was at Ohio. Richie Hall, Winnipeg defensive coordinator. It's a second and long after the job Sales did, stopping that run. And it goes incomplete. And the receiver was Brandon Banks, and once again covered by Des Lawrence. It goes too far, and Banks, frustrated, heads to the sideline.
Yeah, forget about the not on the same page. Right now, Brandon Banks and McLeod Bethel Thompson are reading from a completely different book. I mean, frustration from Banks, but I think Bethel Thompson threw that. He was deliberate on that throw. It looks like he was throwing it right where he wanted to throw it. And Banks, again, nowhere near.
This is the third attempt of the night for Boris Beatty from 36 yards. He made one, he missed one. He's 2 for 4 overall in field goal tries in this Grey Cup game. Put down by Haggerty, and it breaks left again, but easily good as he goes 3 for 5, and an important 3 points on the board, at least for the Argos. Still trailing, fourth quarter, Grey Cup 109. Back at Mosaic and Regina, and back to a one-score game after a 36-yard field goal by Boris Beatty. Winnipeg leads. The lead is down to 6 for Zach Collaros, trying to close in on a third straight Grey Cup victory for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in a place in history. Jagarrett Davis thinks otherwise. The first and 10 at the Winnipeg 40. Good gain on first down. Gets another first. He's up near midfield after 13 more yards on the ground for Oliveira.
Jamarcus Hardrick, Patrick Neufeld, they're just getting it done. Right over here on the right side of the offensive line on this play. Yeah, great vision by Brady Oliveira. He's going to step up. He sees the collapse of this side of the defense for Winnipeg Blue Bombers, just washing it down, and he makes that jump cut and bounces to the outside.
Dakota Prukop is in on a first and 10, so it's not just short yardage. Substitutions at quarterback. The Bombers do this again, faking it to Dembski. And a deep ball thrown by Prukop into coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Shaq Richardson. And you talked about the need for the Argos to force turnovers. They have a big one there here in this fourth quarter.
Well, some will say that changing your quarterback when he's on a bit of a roll always has a downside, or can have a downside. He comes off the bench, he's not as warm. This ball is thrown a little bit underthrown down the field to Rasheed Bailey, and what a great catch by Shaq Richardson. I mean, that is a heck of a catch, going up and pulling it down. That's high point in the ball.
It's not his first Grey Cup either. He was with the Stampeders in 2017 when they were upset by the Argonauts in Ottawa. So a big pick for the Argos and Richardson as they'll start at their 20. Andrew Harris in the backfield, taking to him. And that one is complete. Chad Kelly was the one that threw that. So we saw a quarterback change as well for Toronto with Kelly in. His first taste of Grey Cup action now, and that pass for a first down.
Well, Kelly can run, so when he goes play action here at Andrew Harris, he's pressing the edge, and he pulls Adam Bighill to the line of scrimmage.
Kelly to throw again to the right, perfectly placed for a catch by Markeith Hamels.
How about that?
And another first down, and excuse me, Kelly did have a taste of action as a runner in the first half, but he's out slinging it right now. Couple of completions.
He looks sharp coming off the bench. Had time to warm up over the last drive.
Finished his college ball at Ole Miss. Thrown again and knocked down, and who knows, might have been picked by Big Willie Jefferson, but right to him and batted that one down. So a second down coming up as Willie celebrates.
When Willie Jefferson moves inside, when he's not the outside player at defensive end, he is in the throwing lane for hot throws. And that's what Chad Kelly tries to do here. And he's lucky that got knocked down. Because if it's not knocked down by Willie Jefferson, Chad Kelly is throwing an interception to Dietrich Nichols, who cut underneath that quick throw.
We've seen Jefferson intercept passes too. He had one against Hamilton way back early in the season that he took in for a touchdown. But that one setting up a 2nd and 10 and an injured player for the Blue Bombers. That is Jackson Jeffcoat getting attention now. Another great defensive end for Winnipeg. We'll be back in Regina. Grey Cup 109.
Kelly, well, here's the reason why. Go back to that series before Kelly came out, and that was the follow-through by McLeod Bethel Thompson when Jackson Jeffcoat got the pass rush on him. They were taping his thumb on his throwing hand. He was trying to see if he could grip the football correctly. It was bothering him a little bit. We may see more of Chad Kelly.
Kelly, who's the nephew, by the way, of Hall of Famer Jim Kelly, who led the Buffalo Bills to 4 straight Super Bowl appearances.
Looks like Jackson Jeffcoat will be okay on that Bomber bench.
And Kelly is still in. But it is not enough for a first down. A pickup of 5 yards. 3rd down coming up for Toronto.
No, it wasn't enough for first down, but it was the right decision and read by Chad Kelly. He saw that blitz that was giving McLeod Bethel Thompson some issues in the first quarter, and he got the ball out of his hands quickly. Now he can deepen that hot route, but it was the right read.
John Haggerty to punt it away. Flags coming out. Remember what Janarian Grant did before. This time he takes a knee and just gives up the single. Earlier had a 102-yard punt return touchdown that opened this game up.
Holding Toronto, number 40. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
So instead of giving up the point, holding against the Argos and Robbie Smith, they'll make them punt it again further back.
Well, and the issue for the Argos that they have right now is that their cover team has just run 60 yards and what I often refer to as a barroom brawl for 60 yards. And now they're breathing hard and they have to come back and do it all over again with Janarian Grant back there.
We saw what he can do. We've seen it so much. Now in this year with 4 punt return touchdowns and a kickoff return TD. 1 tonight on the punt return. That's a punt of 47, and they got him wrapped up for just a few more yards. But they, thanks to the penalty, didn't have to give up a point. A better place to start, too, closer to the 25 for Zach Collaros. Quarterbacks to win back-to-back Grey Cups. Talk about an exclusive list. The great Kenny Playne with Winnipeg in the early 60s. Russ Jackson, the legend with Ottawa in the late 60s. Tom Wilkinson and Warren Moon, part of the 5 straight. Wilkie with the first 2, Warren Moon the next 3. Doug Flutie with the Argos and Anthony Calvillo with the Alouettes. That's not a bad list. And now you got Zach Collaros too with 2, looking for 3.
Yeah, he's looking for a third, and you see at the left-hand side of that screen, only Warren Moon has got there. He's got 8:56 to get it done.
Only one quarterback in the history of the CFL winning 3 straight. Collaros could join him tonight. Brady Oliveira trying to help out as he grinds it up to the 30, a gain of 6 on that first down run.
And this is often the point in the game where this is exactly what the Bombers will do. They'll try to grind the clock. They're going to go to Brady Oliveira, and they're going to rely on their offensive line to just be road graders and establish and just keep pushing the line of scrimmage. Now, the Argos are well equipped, and they know that too. And there's big guys up front.
So what do they do on a 2nd and 4 now? Oliveira in there. How's it again? Pushing after contact. And he does have enough, it would appear, to get a first down. Grinding it out indeed with another 5.
And they'll keep doing it. Don't be surprised if Buck Pierce just calls another one. Now, you can get creative in the running game. It doesn't have to be, in the A or B gap every single run. This is A gap. That's between the center and the guard on either side. B gap is between guard and tackle either side.
And we'll see several times, Liam Dobson, extra offensive lineman in. So they have 6 of them.
Yep.
Heavy set. Out comes Greg Ellingson in the substitution. So more of a running formation on this 1st and 10, of course, at the Winnipeg 35. Content to keep it on the ground. Oliveira turns around, but he still manages to fall back for 3 yards and make it a 2nd and 7 with that clock ticking down towards the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, I think that's Jonathan Jones that made the tackle there, and that's what Corey Mace, the defense coordinator, needed to get Zach Collaros in a 2nd and 7 or 8. Now, they still have run the ball in this situation, the Bombers, but it's conventional wisdom that says it's passing down.
The slot back, Greg Ellingson, back in the game on a 2nd and 7. Passing situation, Winnipeg. 6:40 in the clock in the 4th quarter. Pressure coming, gets it away, intended for Nick Dembski, and the closest to it was Shaq Richardson as it falls incomplete, and Mark Leggio will be coming back on to punt.
So far, it's been a quiet night for Nick Dembski. Only targeted 3 times before that throw. I think Zach Collaros felt the pressure and just let it go to that open area, but.
Javon Leak is back. Bombers have had a big return. They lead in the special teams department. Leak would love to get one and help his team out here. After a punt of 37, this keeps over attack. He gets some room. Javon Leak's going down the sideline and pushed out by the last one who could. Didn't get the touchdown, but gets the biggest return for the Argos when they needed it. As Chad Kelly gets set to come on again and lead this offense. Javon Leak. Toronto gets a spark. They're behind by 6.
Lineman Benoit Marion from the University of Montreal. Leak gets outside. Now watch this block as he comes down. One guy can catch him. It's right there at the point of attack. He's coming to the sideline. There's the angle. And there's the cutoff block to get him around the corner.
Well executed on Tanner Cadwalader by Marion. They get it down to the Winnipeg 31. Chad Kelly still in at quarterback for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. He looks deep to the end zone. His receiver fell and wants a call as well. It's Cam Phillips.
You know that Ryan Dinwiddie is going to be looking at it. There is a flag. It came out late. Right here is the intended target. Working one-on-one on Jamel Parker. Little outside fake down the seam.
Play misconduct foul. Objectional conduct. Toronto, number 16. That's a 10-yard penalty.
And Brandon Banks went and said something to the official.
Set out to the field judge, Brian Krupala. And the flag came out, and a costly one.
Toronto is challenging that there was defensive pass interference against their receiver, number 16. We'll review the play.
Well, first of all, terrible decision by Brandon Banks. There's no way to sugarcoat that. And, you know, when your team is battling in a one-possession game, discipline so important. A lack of it will cost you, and the spotlight will find you if you're a player that does that.
So Ryan Dinwiddie is challenged. This is the first challenge that we have seen in a Grey Cup game since the last time the Argos were in one in 2017 when they played Calgary. Nothing changes as far as the penalty goes to Banks, but they're seeing if they can get the PI call.
Yeah, the challenge out there. I was wondering if Ryan Dinwiddie was going to take a look and try and challenge this. You know, when I saw the first replay, it felt a little bit, or looked a little bit like he went down on his own. But Jamal Parker gets turned. He's right at the top of your screen. The question is, does he trip? Is he pushed down? Sure, Jamal Parker, he's got his left hand that he reaches behind, but it doesn't look like he really pushes through it. Tough to tell there. There was no pass interference. There was no pass interference call on the field, so they'll have to have conclusive evidence to overturn it.
And they had said number 16, but meaning number 89, Cam Phillips.
Maybe this low angle here, Rod. I think he just ran into him. The left arm was trailing, but I don't think he pushed him.
Penalties against Brandon Banks. Is it PI against Winnipeg near the red zone? They've had a look. Here's their call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. It will be second down.
So it stands, and with the penalty against Banks, it goes back to the Winnipeg 41. And a second down and 20.
Penalty against Banks. Ryan Dinwiddie now loses his challenge and his timeout in a one-possession game. Just under 6 minutes.
5:52 and counting. Finger-pointing time as Willie Jefferson crossed the line of scrimmage. And Darius Bladick is trying to assure him that it's his fault.
Well, both teams have to understand that the pointing doesn't ever matter.
But they keep doing it as if it does.
Yeah.
It's always the funny thing about this. Trying to help out the folks in
Offside,
stripes.
Winnipeg, number 5. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Now Darius Bladick might think he did help, because he was right.
Yeah.
Bladick and Dejon Allen there, 59, the right tackle, right side of that Argo line. We're at a critical point now. It's a 6-point lead for the Bombers. The Argos in Bomber territory, down to the 36 in the second and 15. Chad Kelly. Ricky Walker chasing him down. Kelly gets away, tries to take off, and he does. Kelly's still going. Oh, he takes a hit from Des Lawrence, but he gets right back up again, and a big first down close to the 15 of Winnipeg. Chad Kelly picks up 20 yards.
Boy, this kind of situation is exactly what the backup quarterback loves to be in, because he has a chance to create and start his own journey. Get teams looking at him, get the Argos looking at him. This is a great run in a crucial time after a penalty to come back and get to a first down, the first down marker. Big play by Chad Kelly.
Rookie in the CFL, went to Clemson and then Ole Miss. And getting his spotlight now, so is A.J. Olette, who was a touchdown earlier in this Grey Cup and picks up a few yards on first down. Kelly in for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. We saw that hand injury earlier in the quarter.
Just trying to keep it warm now in the hand warmer around his waist. Doesn't have it taped up like it was earlier. Going to let Chad Kelly try and finish this drive.
fourth quarter. Kelly completed. Down near the 5. Tavares Daniels.
He'll get forward progress. I think he's close.
He got 8 yards.
That's a first down.
A first down and goal for the Toronto Argonauts.
Remember when Chad Kelly faced the blitz, but he made the right read and they had to punt. Didn't get enough. There was the adjustment.
A.J. Ouellette breaks free, has another touchdown. Argos are loving that. From no name to big name, A.J. Ouellette has 2 Grey Cup touchdowns, and Toronto's a point after away from taking the lead.
And how about the drive from Chad Kelly and that big play to avoid the rush and get him down in scoring position. Ouellette off the right side. Nice jump cut, nice bounce to get outside of that containment from Jamal Parker, who tried to step up and run support, but Ouellette gets there, his second on the night. And what a drive by Chad Kelly coming off the bench.
Forrest Beatty mixed an extra point that would have forced overtime against Winnipeg back in July. He nails that one. And that one has put the Argos in front. 24-23, 3 minutes, 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Let's take another look here at this great vision and bounce. I mean, when you see A.J. Ouellette, you think big, strong fullback to be real good at blocking, but not as quick as feet as a tailback, but he's got it all. I mean, he's got breakaway speed. We saw that in the Eastern Final. Great vision. Took over for Andrew Harris, as you mentioned, and boy, that's the second of the night, and a big one gives the Argos the lead.
It allowed them to keep running the football after Andrew Harris went out back in mid-August with that torn pec. A.J. Ouellette, and when Harris comes back, there's enough football for both of them. We saw that last week in the Eastern Final. We're seeing it again tonight. 2 touchdowns for that man.
Here it comes.
What a prized piece of silverware in Canadian history that is, with the Mountie escort, Grey Cup tradition, as we are getting close. But the game is close too. Anybody's guess at this point in time who's going to get the hoist.
109 times it's made its journey down to field level.
Janarian Grant slips, and down he goes. Winnipeg ball, Winnipeg behind, and we ask that question again. How do they respond? They've responded well so many times, including in this game. Yes, that piece of hardware has changed over the years, but it was Earl Grey, Governor General of Canada, donating it and first handing it out after the champions of 1909. An amateur trophy then, a professional one now, the formation of the CFL officially in 1958. But just think of the stories it could tell. We got one brewing right now here at Mosaic Stadium. First and 10, Zach Collaros, Bombers trailing now. Over the middle, intercepted Argos. Enoch Mwamba has it. Mwamba with the pick. Argos with the lead and the ball inside the Winnipeg 45. He said back in 2011 he thought he'd get back to the Grey Cup every year. Hasn't been back since. He'll treasure that moment right now. He's giving his team a chance. 1-point lead with the ball.
Well, the Argos bench just exploded when Enoch Mwamba got that pick. They said that's the nail in the coffin. They said we just need to stop. We need to run the clock out, and they feel like they are on the verge of something great. Farhan, what about you?
Well, really no panic here on the Winnipeg sideline. When they went out for that last drive, there wasn't a lot of raw, thinking they could get it done. Then after the interception, Mike O'Shea didn't react much, didn't show much disappointment. Same with Zach Collaros. He came back, looked at the iPad, and they want to be ready to go here. They're not panicking. They think there's still time left to get this done.
Under 3 minutes to go, 2:54 on the stadium clock here at Mosaic. Another look at that interception.
Yeah, I think this fooled Zach Collaros, which you don't see very often. Wamba sort of started dropping one way and then reversed his field and got underneath that one.
Argo ball, Winnipeg 43. Chad Kelly, the quarterback, had a big run in the previous drive. Gives it to Andrew Harris. They want to grind it out on the ground, just as Winnipeg was trying to do earlier. 2.5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
Well, they're in field goal range, and so that's also part of the process here for Ryan Dinwiddie in the play call. He's got Chad Kelly. That's exactly what they want to do. And second down and medium, they're going to try and run the ball. If they don't get it, they're in field goal range.
And a huge second down for the Winnipeg defense, and without Jackson Jeffcoat, he is injured. He is on the bench. Second down for the Winnipeg 37. Handing off again to Harris. He will not get the first down. It looks like the field goal unit would be coming out. Still several yards shy.
Timeout, Winnipeg.
The Winnipeg timeout. As you look at that score, if Toronto can get a field goal and make it a 4-point game, the Blue Bombers would be forced to drive for a touchdown.
Yeah, still a one-possession game, but now they need the major, obviously. Now there's plenty of time for Zach Collaros, and that's why Coach O'Shea called the timeout.
I mentioned that earlier game, which ended 23-22 Winnipeg on a missed extra point that would have likely forced overtime. So these teams have played it close before. Razor close right now. It was back in July the 4th. And the only other time they met this year.
Looks like the Argos are not going to try and kick the field goal here to take a 4-point lead.
This is incredible. It's a 3rd and 2. Well, they just try to draw them offside.
Yeah, that could be too.
Kill more time. The clock, sitting at 2:09, and now they can't get the penalty. So
yeah, Coach O'Shea called a timeout, and the reason
timeout. Toronto.
The reason he did that was for that exact reason, that even if they wanted to come out and try and draw them offside deliberately, they're not working the clock at the same time. It doesn't start until the snap of the ball. So good decision to call the timeout there from Coach O'Shea, and now Ryan Dinwiddie will put the field goal team out there.
2:09 on the clock. 1-point Argo lead. Boris Beatty comes on. He is 3 for 5. His 2 misses. One was much further at 52 at the end of the half, but he has missed a 36-yarder. There's been some movement on his kicks too all night, but he has made 3 of those 5 as mentioned. This is the biggest one to make it a 4-point lead. That's blocked. Blocked. The Bombers on the chase. Brandon Alexander has it, and it remains a 1-point lead. Argo. Nick Hallett got in for the biggest block of his life, and Winnipeg is still very much alive.
They got 2 outside of the edge blocker. One here and one Hallett that comes around the corner. He's untouched. Now the key for Hallett here is to just cut that corner as sharply as he can and go to the block point. Perfectly executed off the edge. And what a key time to get it done. Now a field goal can put Winnipeg on top. Snap was great. Hold was there. Just an outstanding play by Hallett off the edge.
In his 3rd year from the University of Toronto, so it's in the hands of Brady Oliveira on that short pass from Collaros, taken down by Jagarrett Davis. But still lots of time for Winnipeg to work, trailing only by a point. Nick Hallett from London, Ontario, and a big special teams play. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6, Winnipeg ball. Pressure's coming! Oh, baby. Robbie Smith has it. .140 on the clock. 3rd down and long coming up.
Let's put the spotlight on maybe the biggest play of the season for the Toronto Argonauts. And on Robbie Smith off the edge, up the field. He doesn't get blocked. Jamarcus Hardrick decides to take the inside man who really wasn't rushing.
Fourth sack of the night, Argos. Polaris, third down. Running around, they have him again. And it's Robbie Smith again. And a flag does come out. And is that a face mask? What a break this would be for Winnipeg. On third down and 13.
Nature foul, face mask, Toronto, number 40. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, there's no question about the penalty call. Right hand in the corner of the face mask. Zach Collaros knew it immediately, looked at the official, the flag was out. They get a new set of downs and new life.
Instead of a sack to force a turnover on downs and take over and put it away, Winnipeg has new life up at their 41. 1:26 to go. What a finish. Break up 109. Into Argo territory. Down around the Toronto 45.
10 yards away from comfortable field goal position. Just a precision throw on the corner to Greg Ellingson, the veteran. 24-yard gain, and as I mentioned, 5 to 10 yards away from a comfortable field goal try.
Remember, even on a missed field goal, a single would tie it. Getting closer. The field goal range here and centering it up. Brady Oliveira.
Mark Leggio, longest on the season, 55 yards. He hit on 82% in the regular season.
And they do have, whatever breeze this is, Larry Tenenbaum, the MLSE chairman, owner of the Toronto Argonauts. Looking on to see if his team can hang on at the 40. Be about a 47-yard kick. Knocked away! And lucky for Winnipeg, it's not picked.
Chris Edwards got it. They're still in field goal range. Left to your screen, coming off the edge here. Times it up, times his jump, gets up there. Had a chance to be picked off, but it puts a little bit more pressure on Mark Leggio.
There's Wade Miller, the president and CEO, can hardly watch. A reminder, with Brandon Banks back, even if the field goal is missed, the Argos have to get the ball out or else they give up a point and the game is tied. Academic, if he makes it, Winnipeg will take the lead. No! Partially blocked as well. It rolls down. A block and then a block. And a no yards flag coming out as well. What an extraordinary finish to this game, and it's not over yet. 45 seconds on the clock. Let's see the penalty here.
No yards. Winnipeg, number 5. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down, Toronto.
2 huge field goal tries, one per team, blocked at a critical moment of this Grey Cup. First by the Bombers and now by the Argos to prevent Winnipeg from taking back the lead.
Ron, I think it was Robbie Smith right up the middle. It looks like to me, this is a tough angle to see his number, but right up the middle down Main Street, number 40, Robbie Smith gets his hands. He got the face mask call, and he blocks the kick.
How's that for redemption after the face mask call you talked about? As they can sense a victory now with but 40 seconds left.
It's about the next play. Everybody makes a mistake. What do you do on the very next play? Robbie Smith flushed the mistake, got back in there, and made the play of the game for the Toronto Argonauts.
And Chad Kelly, who came on and led them back, can take a knee as the Argos can sense their 18th Grey Cup title. Winnipeg can only watch as the hopes of a three-peat fade away. What an extraordinary finish here at Mosaic Stadium. The dynasty is denied, and one of the oldest trophies in Canada's history will go to one of its oldest franchises. The Toronto Argonauts have won the 2022 Grey Cup. A state of shock for the Winnipeg side and of jubilation for that man, Chad Kelly, and the Toronto Argonauts. What a finish. This would have looked like Winnipeg, after blocking that kick, would be able to go down and kick the winning field goal. The Bombers must be stunned as their great run of consecutive championships does come to an end.
How about Chad Kelly coming off of the bench for the injured McLeod Bethel Thompson and going to work like he belonged? I mean, stepped off the bench. He did have a chance to warm up while they were taping up Bethel Thompson, but came off the bench and was slinging it.
And not just the passes. We'll remember that run, that big first down run to get it down close. Let's go to Claire Hanna now with the victorious AJ Ouellette.
AJ, you guys were underdogs all season. You came into this game as underdogs. How does it feel to win the Grey Cup?
Oh, it feels amazing. I'm so proud of this team right here. We blocked out the media. We blocked out everyone saying that we couldn't beat them. I'm just proud of the team and how we rallied, ups and downs as the season was and as the game was. Fucking love you, coach. So proud of you. I love you. So proud. I'm just so fucking proud of this team.
But AJ, back on July 2nd, you were cut from this team and you rallied back. What does it mean, your journey to get to this point?
Just resilience. Just one day at a time. Whatever's in front of me, I'm going to attack. And this team showed the exact same thing this season.
You scored 2 touchdowns in this game. Just what can you say about your own performance?
I just made the plays that they gave me. The O-line did great. The first one, I'm pretty sure I would have been untouched, but I was a little slow getting to where I was supposed to be. Just great job across the board with the team.
When you think about the ups and downs of this team all season, how did you guys just get to this point and get it done on the biggest stage?
As Coach said, we didn't have to win a Grey Cup. We just had to win a football game. That's how we approached today. It was just a football game. We went back and watched them, and we knew we were the better team. Everybody counted them as the better position across the board, except for DBs, and I think we came in and showed them differently.
When you just look at all the excitement around you, a lot of the fans in this crowd, in your favor tonight, how are you going to celebrate?
I'm just going to celebrate with the team. I got my parents and my wife here. They're going to join us as well. I'm just going to enjoy this night with my brothers.
Thank you so much, AJ.
Thank you.
Okay, Farhan, over to you.
All right, with Robbie Smith, what a up and down set of emotions for you on that final drive. You get the sack, you get the penalty, and then you get the block. Take me through it.
Yeah, it's just a lot. You just keep thinking short memory, short memory. I had a couple penalties today, but I said short memory. We still have an opportunity to win the game, and then we ended up winning the game. It was a team effort. Everybody did what they needed to do. We believed all season long, and then now look around, we're all celebrating. So it's just amazing. Up and downs. That's just how our season was, but it finished on up. So thank God.
You also had a big defensive play in the first half. Overall, you were able to contain them throughout that first half. What was it that allowed you to do that?
The coaching by Coach Mace. He did a phenomenal job with us throughout the week, teaching us their tendencies and what we had to do to keep him contained, not letting Caleros roll out and make those big plays to show in. So the coaching by Coach Mace helped us a lot.
No one gave you guys a chance. All this talk about a dynasty and a three-peat, how much did that fuel you?
We felt like the underdogs. Obviously, everybody thought Winnipeg was going to win. They thought they were going to get their third ring. So the fact that we were able to come in here and change that, it was amazing. It was nothing short of amazing.
When Chad Kelly has to come into the game and you lose your starter, how do you stick through all of that and keep fighting?
We don't break. We already know what we're built of. Injuries happened all season long. Next man up. How it comes. Big Shaq, Big Matchy, Big JG. Look at JG. Big JG. So, that's what we do.
Jagarrett Davis. 6 years, 6 Grey Cup appearances, and you get your second. What does this one mean to you?
Oh, man, it's a blessing. Be able to come out here, fought a hard-fought fight. One of the greatest teams that ever been assembled in Winnipeg. We came out, we were resilient. Stuff didn't go our way, but we finished. We hung together, we pulled together all year, and this was the outcome. We champions.
I know that when Robbie Smith took that penalty, you went over and talked to him. What did you say to keep him in it?
Just reload, refocus. We still got one more play to make. One more play to make. Regardless of what the outcome was, we knew what we wanted to do, and God put us in position to make plays, and He did it today.
How much were you fueled by the fact that no one really gave you a chance? It was all about Winnipeg three-peat.
I love being underdog. I've been underdog my whole life, and to come out from where I come from to make it to now, I couldn't ask for nothing better. With these guys, I go to war with them any day. I take them against anybody. I thank y'all. Guess what? We tell, baby.
Thanks, Jagarrett. Let's head over to Claire Hanna with Enoch Mwamba.
Enoch, you were so calm before you got that pick, but that was a game-changing play. Tell me about that play.
I messed up on one of the plays. One of the things I always preach about when I go to speak at schools, churches, prisons, I go to corporations, I talk about mental toughness, and I had to display it. You gotta, sometimes there's not enough to talk about it, you gotta be about it. But I have some great teammates, coaches that believed in me. When I dropped it, I came to the sideline, I told Coach Ivan, I said, look, I lost it in the air. I told my teammates I lost it in the air, but they didn't even make it a big deal. They said, Knock, you're gonna have another opportunity. And it came, and I couldn't make the same mistake twice.
But Enoch, you talk about mental toughness. You've been in this league for 10 years, and you only ever made it to one Grey Cup before. Now you've got your first one. How does it feel?
I have no words, man. All I've ever wanted was to be great. I put in the work. The truth is, man, sometimes you don't see the result right away. But if you're persistent enough, consistent enough, it'll happen, man. 11 years in, so many things happen over the course of my career. To be able to do it with this group of guys, man, I'm elated.
We can see the emotion on your face, and I know how many ups and downs, the adversity your team has faced this season. When you look around, just how do you guys come together at the right moment?
Character, man. Character, man. I wear a bracelet all the time. It says measured by character. I actually got it from my chaplain from Winnipeg 11 years ago. I started spreading it to some of the guys, and that's the kind of guys we got in the locker room, men of character, and we're measured by character. A lot of adversity throughout the course of the season, ups, downs, man. Guys that left, guys that came back, guys that got injured. We stuck through it, man, but we're champions, and nobody can ever take that away from us.
Enoch, congratulations. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you so much.
Let's send it over to Farhan, who's standing by with Andrew Harris.
Andrew, it was all about Zach's injury and your redemption. What do you say? Revenge is a dish best served cold. A little chilly tonight, and you got yours.
Yeah, it was chilly. My teammates today, man, were unbelievable. It was an emotional roller coaster, up and down. Special teams was a factor. Defense, offense, all contributed. And I'm just so proud of my teammates. This group of guys, this year's been a roller coaster. Starting off, and we came together at the right time, and we beat a hell of a good football team today. Bombers played amazing today, and honestly, that could have went either way. just shocked and appalled right now. I love these guys.
I know that it really was a team effort. You know, you worked in there with AJ, but you know, you really got these guys going. You were part of their motivation. Did you sense that?
I mean, anytime on the field, I just want to make impact plays, right? I've always said that from the get-go. So with any kind of energy or motivation or leadership I can bring to the table, I'm all here for it.
Last one I'll ask you is just Chad Kelly having to come into the game. You lose McLeod, who's been your leader all year. How did you still believe?
Chad's been making plays all year in practice. Anytime he's gotten in, he's made plays. And we have full faith in all three quarterbacks on our team. So, you know, he had that big scramble for the first down. He made some crazy throws in tight windows. And, you know, he's a baller. He's got a bright future for him.
Last year, we thought, what a perfect way for Andrew to walk away from this game. And now,
don't do it.
I'm not going to ask you, but when are you going to make your decision and what's going to take you there?
I'm going to enjoy this right now, and we'll go. We'll see what happens, you know, in a couple months.
Thanks, Andrew. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Appreciate you, man.
Celebration continues. Andrew Harris got his three-peat at the expense of his old team that was looking to do the same. And Harris, the Argos, Pinball Clemens on the right. He's won a Grey Cup as a player, a few of them. He's won it as a head coach in 2004, and Pinball is a Grey Cup champion as a general manager as well.
Well, just a lot of storylines to talk about in this one. I just think Chad Kelly coming off the bench and going 4 of 6 for 43 yards. That huge 20-yard run, that was just how you start a career. I mean, how many teams in the Canadian Football League are now looking at Chad Kelly differently than they did when he was the backup all year to McLeod Bethel Thompson? Robbie Smith, I mean, this is what this game is all about. When you make a mistake, which everybody does, what do you do the very next play? And you heard how his teammates rallied around him, how the Toronto Argonauts took care of each other. They had each other's back in those key moments, and it was Robbie Smith.
And you talk about the character plays on both sides. On both sides, Winnipeg responding, as we see them done so often this season. And someone like Nick Hallett, and a key field goal that would have put it away, and blocking that one. Winnipeg, full of character players, but the Argos demonstrated, as you talk about Robbie Smith, that they have lots of character as well.
No question, Rod, and there's a great moment. And I'm telling you right now, McLeod Bethel Thompson is saying to Chad Kelly, hey, you came on and raised your play to the moment. Chad Kelly looked like he belonged, looked like he can be a starting quarterback in this league. This is a pressure cooker. You're in the championship game, you're down on the scoreboard, you drive the field and put it in the end zone.
And McLeod Bethel Thompson getting his second Grey Cup ring, but he didn't play in the game 5 years ago. Ricky Ray did. He was the starter in this game. Chad Kelly coming on to help him out too and lead them back to this victory.
Welcome to the 2022 Grey Cup Awards and Trophy presentation. To present the awards for Most Outstanding Player and Most Outstanding Canadian, your host, Saskatchewan's own Darren Dutishin.
Thank you very much. Was that a football game or was that a football game? I want to thank the city of Regina, a great place to be born. The province of Saskatchewan, a great place to be raised. You guys were outstanding hosts all week. And now, it is my pleasure to announce the most outstanding player in the 2022 Grey Cup game, Enoch Muamba. This is unbelievable. 11 years. 11 years.
11 years. I signed with this team. I met right there. He told me, Enoch, we're going to be champs. He told me I was going to cry like this. Look at me. It's not even real.
Those are victory tears, though. Hey, victory tears.
Man, I can't believe this. All these guys right here, man. All these guys right here. These are the reason why I'm here.
Listen, all the sweat equity, all the hard work, all the ups and the downs, and I'm just talking about this game, and now you are a champion.
All I ever wanted was to be great. And I got some great guys around me. And
That's beautiful. And I'm glad that you're still here, because for only the second time ever, the most outstanding player in the Grey Cup also happens to be the most outstanding Canadian in the Grey Cup, Enoch Muamba. I have to ask you, thank you, by the way. This is an emotional moment. Your teammates are loving it too. I do have to ask you a little bit about the game, if you don't mind. At what point in time, though, with this football team, I know you guys played on the 4th of July. You ended up losing to the Bombers by a single point. At what point in time with this team did you start thinking, you know what, we got some business. You know, we're playing our best football. We can win this thing.
Listen, we walked into this game with total confidence. We knew what we had as a team. Everybody in that locker room believed. We knew that the odds were against us, but we knew that when we crossed that white line, those white lines in between whistles, we knew what kind of team we had. And I just want to thank God, thank all of my teammates. We did it, we changed forever.
Forever. Enoch Muamba, the most outstanding player and the most outstanding Canadian. All right. The 14th commissioner of the Canadian Football League, Mr. Randy Ambrosie. And honestly, we've known each other for so long, I have a hard time separating player from commissioner. This was an unbelievable game.
Yeah, remarkable. And it took a long time to get the Grey Cup here to Mosaic Stadium, and the province and the city and Rider Nation waited a long time to host the game in this beautiful stadium. But this game did not disappoint. And, you know, congratulations to the Argonauts for the big win, and congratulations to the Bombers. They have been an amazing team. They're an amazing franchise, and there are great days ahead for them.
Yeah, I like dynasties. They represent excellence, and they have an excellent football club, and they were right there to the end. I am overwhelmed by Enoch Muamba too, though.
Yeah, you know what? It is such a pleasure to see such a great person who's also happens to be a great football player and getting all that he deserves.
Boy, does he ever. All right, you've got some business to take care of. This is the best part of your job, I'm sure. I'll let you do that.
Good evening, bonsoir, Canada. On behalf of the Canadian Football League and the Canadian Football League Board of Governors, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to award the 2022 Grey Cup to the winning team, the Toronto Argonauts.
celebration, all sorts of emotions for the Toronto Argonauts. We saw that with Enoch Mwamba, all the tears, and first saying to Claire Hanna, all he could talk about was the mistake he made earlier, failing to make an interception, but he more than made up for that, and what a terrific game he had, that Argonaut defense. Just so many different stories of why this Toronto team was able to end the run of a great Winnipeg Blue Bomber team.
Like Dutchie said, just a great football game. At the end of the day, the Canadian Football League came through again and put on a tremendous show. Those players on the field battled. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers went down swinging. They didn't quit. They had a chance for a game-winning field goal, and a play was made by Robbie Smith. But this is a three-phase game, Canadian football, and it's for them right now. It's family. The journey has ups and downs, big time. You saw Enoch Mwamba with his kids and his family. They go through those ups and downs together. And right now they're sharing it in a moment they'll never forget.
There's a certain irony in this given the way the season started, as you recall. A lot of East-West matchups in the East Division, let's face it, was an embarrassment at the start of the season. And it gradually changed. I mean, the Argonauts especially picked up after a slow start, finished with a winning record, did well against some, nearly beat Winnipeg in the regular season. It was a close game. And Hamilton, for example, able to beat the Blue Bombers, Montreal did. So it was a little bit of balance restored. But the thing I enjoy about this league, regardless of who ends up winning it, is there are certain assumptions you dare not make. You don't know, even coming into a championship game. We've seen it before. We've seen it before with the Argonauts. They've been big underdogs before and managed to celebrate this. But take nothing again away from Winnipeg. It's just one of the great teams we've seen.
Oh, absolutely. And that organization will be in the hunt again next year. But full credit to a team, as you mentioned, got off to a bit of a slow start in the regular season, but 8 wins down the stretch. Ryan Dinwiddie back-to-back finalist for Coach of the Year. He gets his first cup as a head coach.
And yes, with Ryan Dinwiddie, who lost a start at quarterback, a sudden start for Winnipeg back in 2007. He gets to savor a championship. Let's go back to Darren Petition.
All right, thank you very much, Rod. Coach, congratulations. That was a hell of a game.
It sure was. I mean, that's probably going to go down to one of the best Grey Cups, finishes in history, right? Just the injury to the McLeod, Chad going in there, then the blocked field goals, right? And the penalty, we got him stopped down there, and an awesome game. I got to thank my wife first off, my wife and my kids. I spent a lot of time away from with this job, and without her, I'm not here, and I'm not going to win this football game.
I really appreciate that. And I know what you guys go through. I see the sweat equity, the time, the effort. Watching Enoch up there crying. How about yourself? This has been a hell of a journey for you, too. Your first ever start in the CFL, you were in the Grey Cup, and you were thrust into the quarterback position. 14 years later, second year as a head coach, now you win it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I got to give our hats off to our players, right? We fought through a lot of adversity, especially today, and that was a team win. They didn't panic, right? We showed how mature we became as a football club. So I got to thank my players, and they did a heck of a job.
Right. It is awfully hard to win 1. It's really hard to win 2. Almost unprecedented to win 3. People were talking about the dynasty, the Bombers, the 5.5-point favorites going into this game. At what point in time, was it the 4th of July when you guys lost to them by a point that you thought we can not only hang with these guys, we can beat these guys, or when was it?
Well, I think we felt like that. We let that one slip. We get slip out of our hands, a chance to win that game. So when we were 4-5, we said, hey, let's just go 1-0, right? And then the next week we want to go 2-0. So if you look at our last 10 or 11 games, they've been pretty darn impressive. So that shows you where light bulb went on and we started focusing better.
I really thought you had the better of the play in the first half, and then the second half comes around and it was just madness. Congratulations, Coach. I'm really happy for you. That was fantastic. Yeah, what a game. Still can't get over how good that game was. It was fantastic.
As another extraordinary stat, the Argos have now won 7 straight Grey Cup appearances. They win this one in stunning style. We're going to hear from the panel their thoughts on this memorable game, and the head coach of the Bombers, Mike O'Shea, as well.